Welcome to Meadowbrook Memories podcast. I am Jelly, otherwise known as Glester Prince. My co-host is Hitchcock, otherwise known as Alfred Henry. Our mission on this podcast series is to explore the stories behind the magic that was created at Meadowbrook in over a span of 4 years between 1982 and 1986. We saw the transformation of a small co-educational school with less than 1,200 students, 800 girls and 400 boys, into a successful sports and scholastic champions, winning 7 major trophies, 3 Sunlight Cup, 2 Topping Cup, 1 Walker Cup, and 1 Nutriment Shield. And to crown these achievements, Meadowbrook also produced 2 Rhodes Scholars, Cavell Creighton in 1987 and Andrea Wright in 1989, both graduates of Meadowbrook in 1983. In this podcast series, we will be speaking to persons, both males and females, who are actively involved in this incredible journey, along with friends and family and staff at Meadowbrook, which inspired the environment that created this golden era. We hope you enjoy our discussion. Please give us as much support and encouragement that you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. Welcome and thanks for joining us. Hello, this is Jelly, your Meadowbrook Memories host. Would you like to know how Meadowbrook won 7 trophies in 4 years in the 1980s? Purchase a copy of my book, The Starling Surprise, for a friend, a relative, or a student at Meadowbrook. Thank you. Check the link below. Go. Today is Saturday, June 22nd, 2025, and welcome back to another conversation about Meadowbrook Memories. Me as usual, Glester or Lance or Jelly or Prince, and by now you know say any one of those names will do. Join me for this very special conversation today is the best night watchman in the business, because once I let Dante know say we have more runs to put on the scoreboard, I'm not giving up on wicket and I'm going to show up. Welcome back to Greg, or Spanner used to call him, or Donovan Thomas is the name on his birth certificate. Our guest today will need no introduction to me because he was a younger brother of my friend from first grade at Pembroke Primary from 1969, and we came all the way in the same class to 5th form when I graduated in 1979. Meadowbrook in 1979, and remained in touch until I migrated in December 2000 until his untimely death. And I guess his brother forgot to remind me, I don't tell him, but he must remind me when his brother died. Our guest attended Meadowbrook from 1976 to 1982, following the footsteps of his older brother, who had started 2 years prior to him. Nicknamed Douet, after the famous name of my older brother. Our guest developed a keen interest in all sports and would routinely support Meadowbrook teams, schools football, Manning Cup, Sunlight, etc., especially if matches were being played at bottom field. Our guest exercised his love for track and field by becoming a middle distance runner and represented Gartrell House at Sports Day and eventually the school team at Champs. And his crowning achievement was to be elected track and field captain in the final year. But without further ado, the man there to tell him more Meadowbrook Memories. So welcome, Patrick Douet, or Douet as we used to call him, Douet brother of the late Robert Douet. And welcome, Patrick. Introduce yourself, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, Jelly. Boy, it's funny sitting on the other side of the microphone, so to speak, to do this thing, because as you know, I sat in Donovan's seat, as co-host with you. But, to be on the other side is a little different. But hey, I'm glad to be here, man, and I thank you for the invitation, So, yeah, I'm Patrick Douet, and, like the introduction that Jelly gave, I started in 76, right? I started in first form. I think at the time the block that I started on was new, right? You guys remember that new block on the what do you call it?
Yeah,
No, it was
man,
near to
yes, the new block that just finished, Patrick.
I think it just finished because I remember, when I started school, the place was actually it felt new. Can you imagine?
It was freshly minted, Patrick. I remember that exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because coming from a
That's what we
primary.
call it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So I say, come from primary school where, you kind of have some old desk and things. But come on, we get some brand new things. And, it was like a fascinating experience, like in a different world kind of thing. That was my introduction to the school when I came in 76. Yeah, so that one, you were saying something there.
Yeah, this new block would be the third farm block, the one that we refer to as the third farm block in the 80s there, where the chemistry lab is, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the third farm used to be like kind of on an upstairs thing, right? But
Yes.
my new block was a single level set of
Like
rooms. It was a
you walk
classroom.
towards a top house.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, oh,
Exactly where it was. Yeah.
okay. That in my
That's
days,
where it
that
was.
was the first farm block.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
man, yeah,
yeah,
man. So
yes,
that was
yes,
my
yes.
first farm. Yeah. First
Cause,
farm memory,
cause when I started Meadowbrook, as far as I remember, it was a 3-story building, Dante, and the
Yes.
library, and the physics lab. I don't remember. The block where Patrick talked about was built after. In a 76, was finished in a 76, and the rest of the school down at the bottom. And it's a 3-story
Okay.
building. I think about it, and I'm trying to remember now. Well, if I was a 3-story building, I would go there, and the answer is yes.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was for real.
And the
Right,
physics lab
right,
and the
right.
chemistry lab, Patrick. And I think the chemistry lab was in the 3-story building too. So
On the ground floor.
yeah. The whole of the block, and then you
Mhm.
have the Ratney Hall, the assembly hall across.
Yeah.
Cause even when the staff room was when you came there, Patrick, that never built yet either,
Yeah, it was brand new. That part was new
Yeah, man,
too,
the staff
right?
because
Oh,
the
yes,
staff room was
yes.
upstairs. I don't know if you know that. When
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know
when the
that.
assembly hall was done, team, the top office was upstairs there, so the back building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And the staff room was no talking. I try to remember the staff. Somebody comment with that. I don't quite remember what the staff room was. But anyway, Patrick, welcome. Dante, Richard is back yourself, my brother.
Yeah, man. Well, Donovan Thomas, Tegre, as Jelly say, or Dante, of later vintage. But, I started in 80. And, you know, as usual, it's a pleasure being amongst the legends. You know, some of my early mentors. It's really a pleasure and a privilege to be sitting here with you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. It's a good feeling, to sit down and really have
And
these
that's a chat and
Yeah,
conversations.
man.
reminisce. So I miss I remember when they start talking. I try to remember what the school was like, not 74.
Right.
Yeah. So Patrick, the first question I always ask everybody come on the podcast, and you have been here as a host before, so you know the first question. Did you choose Meadowbrook or Meadowbrook chose you?
Hey, that's an interesting question, because I kind of think it shows me, so here's the deal now. What I recall doing common entrance, is that I think my old lady wanted me to go to KC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't remember if my old man, somehow it's like in my mind I recall Calabar and KC being the choices. But then see when Robert got through to Meadowbrook, it kind of I think the whole thing just set in motion this chain of events that just ensure that I got to Meadowbrook. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Meadowbrook
So
chose
Oh,
you then, that's what I mean.
yeah, because honestly, I don't remember choosing Meadowbrook at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I just don't remember it. So it just worked out that way, and it made sense to a large extent because your older sibling is now going to the school, right?
Yeah.
So it would have been
Yeah.
an easier thing to fit in. So I mean, yeah, it worked. It turned out that way. So I'll just say it chose me, and I have no regrets for it having chosen me because high school life was great.
Yeah, man, the memories
And,
High
everything.
school life was great.
and you live close by, Patrick.
Well, at the time, because we kind of spent a lot of our early years in Hugh and then, all right? So
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
mean, at the
remember.
introduction,
Games
Jelly
Avenue,
mentioned
Patrick. Games Avenue.
exactly. You remember that, man?
Oh, I mean.
So
I
we
think
went
I
to
remember all the
Pemberton.
number to because Robert is at 37.
37, man, you good, man, you good. So 37 Games Avenue is where we live in Donovan. So we used to
Yes.
walk from there right across what was an open land then. It used to be called Francis Land. It was a shortcut to get to Pembroke Hall back in the days.
Oh, so you went to Pembroke Hall to Portugal. I was going to ask you that. You went to Pembroke Hall Primary as
Yes,
well.
man. I went to Pembroke Hall too. In fact, at Pembroke Hall, I was just a year behind Robert, because in age we're just 1 year and 6 months apart.
Okay.
Right? So what happened now is at common entrance, Robert passed on his first attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I passed on my second attempt.
Okay,
so
okay.
It created that gap. So Robert ended up being 2 years ahead of me in school. Yeah, so that's how that came about,
But come to think of it, Patrick, I mean, you may be right, because my brother was 2 years ahead of me too, and we 18 months apart. Patrick born February 61, and I born December 62. So it's a little more than you and Robert. And we passed common entrance both the first time, but we were 2 years apart, the same as again, Robert. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So that's how we ended up like that,
It's possible, yeah. So before I go no further, you think Robert would have chosen Meadowbrook or Meadowbrook chose him?
I think the school also chose him, because like I tell you, I just recall my old lady saying things that, it's like KC is what I remember, and back in the day, those were the popular schools, KC, Calabar,
yeah.
And I honestly, I never really know much about Meadowbrook, Never know much about Meadowbrook at all. Yeah, so when we went to common entrance, I think we're still in here and then we had moved. By the time I started first form, I think we had moved, to Spanish Town by then.
Okay.
So when I took the entrance exam, I was still at Games Avenue, but then I think we moved. So I ended up having to commute to come into the school for first form. Yeah.
So Robert, never come up with a story about Meadowbrook.
Any story?
Yeah, about Meadowbrook. When you
Boy, it's like you remember that,
Yeah.
Honestly, don't remember that. The only thing I remember is that the epaulet them look like Calabar.
Yeah.
Because I used to see him with the epaulet, and say, boy, that look like a sea bar epaulet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they still wear those. They wear those still, the epaulets, the green and blue.
No, they wear a crest.
Oh, they do a crest.
So
now.
go with the epaulet.
Mm-hmm.
He said no look not like epaulet at all. I know the girl them still wear the traditional uniform. Her uniform look different.
Traditional uniform, same way.
Oh, but the boys them that's
I think there's a slight change to the uniform compared to our days, but it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
But quick question for you, Patrick. Gregory is your cousin or you're young?
It's my cousin. And he
Right,
came to school too. He came a few years after. I don't remember how many years after Greg came, but Greg was there.
Yeah, man. Greg was. I think he started the same year with me, and then he repeated a farm. But me and him have history like you too, in professionally, we actually worked at the same place for a number of years.
Okay, cool.
In the IT, and we've maintained the link throughout up to now. Yeah,
I think he mentioned that to me now. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, man. I'm still in the industry, and we'll link up from time to time.
Nice. That's
good. And in fact, we actually served while I was the president of the PSA. He was a member of the executive as well.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Man.
Very good.
I don't remember him, Patrick. It's when I went down. And since I started in a podcast, I had been following me and me on Facebook and all them things. I'm saying the name Douet. Or Douet as we used to call it. I'm going to get clear up on that.
Yeah. That's how we call it as
Douet, yeah. We don't go friends at all, Dante. No. No. So I saw Greg, at the reunion when I went down 2 years ago, when I come to the cricket match Dante and him introduced himself, I say, yeah man, I said the name, I never tell me his name was Jan Robert Cousin. I say, oh yeah, yeah man. So that connection that there. So when you come yeah, go ahead, Dante, sorry.
While in school too, you know, he used to follow up the cricket a little bit.
Yeah man, I realized
Right.
that by talking to him, man. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so Patrick, when you come to Meadowbrook now, what the first impression you get the first time you come on the campus?
Like I say, it was a brand new space. It was almost intimidating because, you always hear about high school and, you have this expectation. It's like, you're not even so sure what to expect. But it was like a different world to me. And, you have to go through a settling process. It's like a big difference from primary school. That's how it felt to me. And I guess probably because, like I said, I entered a new block and everything just seemed new. And I said, what? It's a high school Christmas, I kind of think about, said, wow, this thing, And then, of course, you get into the groove when you start making friends in the farm and, all that kind of stuff, But my first impression it's like, awestruck, yeah.
And I just talk about the friend them. Who are some of the friends them where you meet? You can remember.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the first farm, we had some jokers in the class, man. So I'm going to give you some names if you see, remember them names, So, Michael Roden, that's Rocky, his nickname Rocky. Andrew Earl, Chris Eichel, and Eichel had a big brother who was a brains.
Yeah, man, Patrick, him the name too, I think. Patrick Eichel, I think. Yeah.
And our sister was there, too.
Yes.
Terrence.
I remember the sister too. I don't remember her first name. I think I currently the name to Patrick, yeah.
Yeah, Terrence Strong, Mark O'Neill. There was a David Heron in the class too. I try to remember some of them.
Ferdinand, your year, Patrick. Ferdinand Bent.
Ferdy was a year above me, I think Ferdy was a year above.
Oh yes. You're right. Yeah, Ferdy was a year below me.
So,
yes.
Right, and some of the girls now: Anne-Marie Dundas, Inga Walker, Cavell Creighton.
Andrea Wright was in your year?
Andrea Wright too. Andrea, Pamela Miller. Pamela. I think it's Miller. Yeah, Pamela Miller is what her name was. Yeah, but some of the folks I remember there. Yeah, man, and Andrew, Rocky, myself, Terrence became
Curtis
good
was
friends,
in your year too. Noel
Curtis, yes, exactly. Noel Curtis.
R.I.P. Rest in peace, my brother. Yeah.
Yes. I heard about that.
Right.
Yeah, man. Noel was a true sportsman too. I remember. Yeah, man. Noel could run. Noel could play cricket. He could play football. Yeah, Noel is one of those guys. Every sport you could think of that Noel could do.
I'm going to send you the yearbook and Patrick. I try to send it from in a week. That's to refresh remember, but that's fine. So what's some of the teachers them now you remember now, Patrick?
Why? I searched my brain to think of the first form ones. And I remember Miss Jones, Celia Jones, I think her name was.
You have a sister come out of school now my year, Margaret Jones.
Okay. Yeah. There was a lady who teach art. I think is Miss Lysette. That name sound familiar?
Yeah, man.
Lysette. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. There's a Miss Drummond, but I don't remember if Miss Drummond was from first form or not. But somehow I remember.
Yep. Let me get a background to the two teachers. It was Miss Drummond, Miss Lysette first. When I was in first, she was my farm teacher in her first farm. And her name was, she got married while she was at school and she became Mrs. Lysette. Her name was Miss Earborn, I think, before she got, not that thing, I know her name was Earborn before she got married.
Okay.
And Miss Brown now, the same thing. Her name was Miss Brown before she became Mrs. Drummond.
Gotcha. I hear you.
Yeah.
Drummond was maths. Drummond was a maths teacher, right?
English.
I think it's English. Yeah, English.
Yeah.
There was Mr. Lawson now who was a maths teacher.
Right? Lawson, physics and maths.
Yeah, Mr. Lawson. And I remember we had a reverend, the first one teacher, BK. I think it was BK it was called at the time.
Oh, reverend to the school. Oliver Deleata.
Reverend Oliver Deal was, but we can't remember if there was a Reverend Grantor, right? Wasn't there a Reverend Grantor?
I don't remember.
Somehow,
I remember it's Oliver. Maybe well, Oliver Daly, Reverend, and then Mr. Cork, who his wife was principal at the prep school, Reverend Cork.
Mm-hmm.
yes, right. But somehow, yeah, because Reverend Daly taught us at one point, and I try to remember if it was first form or not, right? But yeah, definitely remember Reverend Daly. But somewhat, there was, or maybe I mix them up. Maybe I mix up my schools, but there was a Reverend Grant, man. I don't remember
Yeah,
about
man,
that Grant.
yes, I know you're talking, man. Robin Grant. Robin Grant. I
Mm-hmm.
know exactly what you're talking. You try to teach Bible knowledge,
Yeah,
Patrick. Yes, Mr. Grant, yes. The
yeah,
tall.
man, yeah, man.
The tall, and
Yes,
it shows you some was that giant. Mr. Meadowbrook trainers, a Meadowbrook old boy, you know.
okay.
You never know that.
Yes. So,
Yes.
so, so he taught one of those because I think at some point in our journey, the class became religious education. I think we started off with Bible knowledge and then it became so one of the two. So I remember Reverend Daly teaching us, and I remember Reverend Grant, and I can't remember which one started first. It might have been Reverend Daly first, though. It might have been.
Yeah, Robin Grant used to teach Bible knowledge and him always, but
Yeah.
he was a gifted person. Him not teach a whole heap of different things and full of big words. I don't think Dante them know him. I think by the time Dante they
Okay.
came, he left Meadowbrook, but yeah.
Maybe he left. Yeah. But I remember,
Yeah, man.
but he was quite a friendly guy,
Yeah,
because I remember, him talk to you, yeah, that's what I remember.
yeah,
He's a
man.
kind of a gentleman kind of guy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
But yeah,
when I came, it was Reverend Cook and
yeah.
another guy there. I don't remember his name in it, but he used to teach me. But as you say, it was religious education at that time.
Yeah. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think Robin Grant used the reverend, though, you know. He was just a teacher, but him to teach
Oh,
Bible
Oh,
knowledge.
really?
But
Okay. Okay. I thought he was a reverend,
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember about some big words, man. Like one day, the man coming out of class and it's like, he must say, what's that stifling, suffocating, and pugnacious smell? I said, me that throw off the words in a Dante.
You serious?
Yeah.
Hey, so funny you mentioned the big words, I remember another teacher, Mr. Simmons. He was a metalwork teacher, right?
Yes. I think
Them, and them call him Simo. And I mean, he used to have a twang, He used to always try to put on some words, and sometimes he just make up words,
yeah, I know
But
exactly
it
what
was
that.
funny.
In the court,
Yeah,
in the
man.
court to
Mr.
Sunlight
Simmons.
team. I think before the
Simmons or Simpson?
yeah, Mr. Simpson.
I think it's him.
Mr. Simpson, man, you have that right. In the court to Sunlight team a year before Mr. Year came there, yeah.
Ah, gotcha.
But it was Metalwork and the court to team pan, before Mr. Year.
Yeah, man. And him used to give us all kind of things to do and all.
Yeah.
So,
So Timon was in your class, so Patrick Timon was.
yeah, but I think Timon came on afterwards, I don't remember if Timon started in first form. Did Timon start at first form or he came in after?
Yeah, man. Because why I remember him talk about the new building. I don't know if it's the same class. Maybe it wasn't the same class, but
No, what happened? I think we switched stream because when I started, me, Terrence, Strong, and Rocky, and Andrew Earl and those guys were in the first form. And I think if I remember right, in the first year they had A, B, and C, and it became M, H, S, and J, something like that.
After that, yeah.
Second form, and then by third form, he must have dropped the stream because it wasn't really a great student. But yeah, but I remember in the same form as those guys, and then we have switched up a little bit along the way. Yeah. But Timon might have been in B. But yeah, we know Timon quite well, man. Timon, brethren. Yeah, man. Timon's good because we even did we're in touch even on UA days and things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You went you with him. You were up at you with him.
Yeah, man. On the same block, Attica. Taylor Hall.
Okay.
Attica, yeah, man. So Timon was on Attica. I used to go check him on thing, and and then because I was a run, I run to Attica, then I run to Taylor Hall. So,
What's your name? Was in the year to Portugal, as they called him, I don't remember. Jennifer, Tim. It was a year.
She was a year above. She was in Ferdinand's year. Ferdinand Ben's year. She was in that.
Okay, so was that year.
Okay.
Yeah. No, so the name yeah, go ahead, Dante, sorry.
That's Minerva's sister?
Yeah, Minerva's younger sister, yeah.
Yes, Minerva's younger sister, yes.
Yeah. So Patrick, when you come in now, the name, how you used to pronounce your name at home? Because Robert never correct it at all. It's always Douet for we all along, you know. It's after me left school and now me realize the T silent.
Well, that's the thing, because even from primary school, they used to call me Douet, and it wasn't really a big deal because we never, I think it's at that age, we don't really focus on the pronunciation. We don't say, we here talk, so we just answer, So
Yeah, it was fun.
I never feel no way, it's who kind of drilled that into us, though. I think it's one of our uncles, because him always use a proper pronunciation.
Yeah.
But as youngsters, man, we were in high school.
So
Weren't focused on that.
the question, not to forget offended. The question was, did you know the proper pronunciation for your name?
Yes, I knew it, but like I said,
It wasn't a big deal. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
No, man, I understand. Robert wouldn't do that at all. Because trust me, if I wanted that while I'm there at school, a pure mountain would I get, man.
No, man. Yeah, he used to tell me some things when the man go out with, Boy, I never forget. He might tell me about the use of the word pelican. Like I say, when somebody have very slim legs, them a pelican come and walk on them. No, not pelican. Gymnast. It's not.
Gymnast, yeah.
Gymnast. When I walk on the hand, and him tell me about them things, I say, my goodness, man.
Yeah, man. We have a teacher, I now call her name. We used to call her gymnast because
Yeah, me used to hear about it, man. Me hear about them things.
Yeah. No,
I'm to walk on her hand.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly, Dante.
I saw the man go on.
You have to go no further and I get why her foot so small. I'm going to use the Jamaican term.
Yeah.
No. And Robert never used a pattern, Patrick, because I remember one day, Robert, I think a money cup match ago, right? And we take the 37 for go crossroad or something, and we pass. Duff got their office. I just remember there with me. Duff got their office on Constant Spring Road, Dante.
Yes.
Yeah. At Constant Spring, look up before you get down to the plaza. Look up there, come over the bridge. I don't wrap it, on the left hand side, right?
I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, man. So me go back at school now, and me and him on the bus. I forget how the argument come up. And me I tell him to Duff got the half a tree. The man them laughing to scan. So me don't know Duff.
Yeah. You think of the office and I think of the same.
Yeah. They never believe that though, man. You must say, boy, I don't want Jelly to know Duff got them. I know Duff got that Spanish show. Robert never believe that down at all, man. You must scan him every day now. I tell Diego and everybody answer right. The one Jelly to know Duff got them. Yeah, man. No, so when you come in at the school now, Patrick, what was it like when you come in and you have a older brother at the school? It make it easier for you, or Robert's reputation just make it easier, or is it tougher for you?
I think it made it easier for me, because I think initially people called me Young Do or Little Do because he already had that nickname Do, right?
Yeah.
And people start to realize that you had a brother thing. Yeah, I think it made it a little easier, but I'm not really associated with me much at school. Too tough, I guess big brother syndrome. You kind of flock with your own guys. You know what I mean? You never really flock with me. Too tough. Still,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we would meet up and go home together and all that, but yeah, while at school, not so much. We never really.
Yeah. No, man.
Yeah.
So, when you came to Meadowbrook now, Meadowbrook never have no reputation for certain things at all. Where you want to have a better word? Where you say, why? Where you want to do it? Don't put it that way at you. Where you want to do, take off people when you left school at evening time, because Meadowbrook was a beaten sick for enough school.
No, I never take them off, I never really take it off at all. Maybe by the time we got to later forms, if we don't want nobody to recognize where you're from, you take it off, But in the early part, no, I didn't take off my epaulet. In fact, I tell you, most people who saw it thought it was C-bar because it was a dark blue that we used, right? It was a dark blue and green, and from afar, it could have looked like a C-bar epaulet,
Yeah, from afar, it looked like a Calabar epaulet. Yeah. So when you came there to Mr. Top was the principal, Patrick?
Yeah, Yes, man. Yeah. And in fact, he used to come visit the classroom and thing, and of course, we used to see the dogs first. You remember the dogs used to kind of precede him,
Oh, you mean?
when he walking. I said there were two dogs. It was two or three, but the dogs always came in first, and then we saw him and thing. And I want to give you a joke about Mr. Tharp. I mean, a strong disciplinarian, and everybody respected him and all that. But I think he used to write notes sometimes and sign his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it became a thing now to try to forge his signature. So we had a couple guys in the class who used to try it, and I became one of the better ones, So much so we fooled the class because when I forget what the occasion was, and like the room was empty, and we just write some like a fictitious thing on the blackboard and
I sign him
sign
name.
the name. Yeah, man, and people think this is him writing because we're practicing, practicing the signature all the time. And yeah, till we can get it close, very close. Yeah, man, those were fun days. I know we had idlers in the class. I have people who just up to mischief and thing. So
Dante, lucky to him never know we had enough things to could have done with that,
yeah.
Dante, much of my let me get on them skill and I say, what?
No, man. That would have saved me a whole heap of things.
That's what I said, exact right.
Yeah, man. We should practice it, man. We should practice it, but we never know the value of it then,
No, because when I flex, I go where I think about it that time and I say, what? Enough, no, man, enough miles that you could have did, man. So, yeah. Mr. Saab used to teach maths sometime, maths and physics, when some teachers are coming. He was an excellent maths and physics teacher. I don't know if you know that. Yeah, man, yeah.
No, I didn't know, but
I never know at all.
No, man, I'm teaching maths, physics, maths one at a time. Like this teacher never throw parts. I remember him coming like that. But an excellent teacher, man. Warren Top, man. So, you had any reason for visit Top during the time I met about Patrick? To get Keenan? Or you never reached that stage yet?
I'm trying to remember if I ever got caning from him, I know I had to go to his office. What was it though? I don't remember the occasion, if it was because of lateness or so. Because what had happened to us when we're living in Spanish Town attending school, sometimes we get lift, to a point and mostly reach school on time, right? But there are sometimes we're reaching late. And I think after a certain number of late arrivals, I think they would send it to the principal. It's something like that. I try to remember what it was, but it might have been.
Mm-hmm.
And him warned me off and all that. I mean, I used to hear about the caning, but I don't think I ever got caning though. I don't think I ever.
No, Patrick, yeah, that Patrick, I want to look you one, that.
That's good.
I know what's not more about that at all. Patrick.
So you guys got caning? Both of you got caning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's part of where I'm read, that Patrick, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I don't remember Robert getting caned though. I can't say that. I don't remember Robert getting caned at all. So
Robert was a very easygoing guy, man.
Yeah. I'm not talking about Robert, Patrick. Let me ask a question. Come there now. What was Robert like as a brother to you? You know, you say him never talkative to you at school. What was he like as a brother?
No, well, outside of that, man, he was very a fun-loving guy, easygoing, fun-loving, because away from school and we're like home and so on, we had friends in the neighborhood, and of course we had the street scrimmage, we had road racing, we had all kind of fun related, fun activities, and we had a friend who had a kind of a sound system, and sometimes they would put, play music and and Robert was always involved in that. And when we had, the term run a boat,
Yeah.
Man, involved in that, man, and and any little kind of trip, we used to walk to the rear Cobra, because there was a spot we found where we could swim.
That's how it was, Spanish Town.
Yeah, man, because we're Spanish Town. I tell you, we lived in Spanish Town for a while because right after my common entrance, when I passed, we moved and So anyway, so it was fun because and that's the kind of guy he was. Always ready for fun, always ready to play some kind of sport. It don't matter if it's street cricket, it don't matter if it's football, always involved. Any little thing, dominoes, whatever. that was the kind of guy, we talk about all kind of things, and yeah, that part was great. He was a great brother, he was a very, very good brother
So
to have.
during the time in Meadowbrook, were you surprised at him larger than life? It's such a short man. Because he was
Uh,
larger than life in terms of said reputation
yeah,
he has at Meadowbrook. Yeah.
you know, at school it never dawned on me so much, but I realized he was integrated into certain things. Because, for example, when he became the scorer
For the
for
cricket team,
Sunlight
yeah.
Cup,
Mm.
yeah, I realized. I said, whoa,
That's how Dante know
yeah,
him better, yeah, yeah.
I'm really involved, and I'm really involved in these things. And I know he loves sports because we used to go Money Cup matches and all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So he
man.
definitely loves sports, and he was the one who taught me to play. Book cricket. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, so. Yeah, I'm teaching you how to play that.
Robert teach me about them things. Yeah, man. So Robert really was into, but then I never realized how large he was.
Okay.
Yeah,
Until a little later. But we don't really want to go into that yet. But it's at his workplace, because after school, he ended up working with government. And
Mm-hmm.
then I,
no,
I,
man. Go
I,
in there, watch him. Go in there. Talk about that. Talk about that.
Yeah, man.
yeah. So at the time of his passing is when, because before that, let me get before that, because
Yeah,
I used to go
go through
visit him at
that.
work.
Yeah.
I used to go visit him sometimes at work, when just go check on him and thing, and you could tell that the people really just looked up to him because everybody knew him.
And this time I work at
Everybody.
Ministry of Construction, Patrick.
Yeah, man, construction and works. I think it was actually
Mm-hmm.
Urban Roads Division, right? It was right in the Alpha Tree area
Yeah,
there.
man. Yeah.
And let me tell you, man, whenever I go, if once you go and ask for him, everybody know who he was. You never have to go too far, right? They would readily know and thing. And I said, boy, yeah, Robert, clearly gets along with everybody, and that wasn't hard to see, really, because he really was an easygoing guy,
Yeah.
really easygoing. I can't remember anything too much that bothered him.
Mm-hmm.
Robert was easygoing to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so later on now, at the time of his passing now, is when it
And what year was
really.
that, Patrick? I never remember. You had to tell what year was that he passed?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you how I remember this. It was 2003.
Wow, a certain long ago Pat Robert passed.
It's long ago, it's long ago. But here's how I remember that thing, Jelly. It is the weirdest thing, because Robert and I had I think it probably was the last conversation I had with him. The Matrix, in the movie, The Matrix,
Yeah. With Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne. Yeah.
had a sequel called Matrix Reloaded,
Yeah.
that came out in 2003.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we spoke about it because the trailer started to show, right? The previews. And we spoke about it because we had both seen the first one.
Yeah.
And we were very impressed with that movie, we loved the movie and thing. And so I asked him, I said, boy, you see the trailer for Reloaded? I say, yeah, man. I
And
say,
for the record, Patrick, by that time you were still living in Jamaica, you were here.
I was still in Jamaica, man. Still in
Okay,
Jamaica
all
at
right.
that time. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So we talked, because I think we actually spoke in person. I said, so, he saw it and thing, and him say, yeah, man. I'm saying, see. I'm saying, look, I know that, of course, the special effects were, you know, top rated. And yeah, they were
Top
really good.
rated. Right.
Yeah, and that was, boy, Jelly, and that is now bringing back some memories, because I know I saw the movie, and then, boy, I never even get to find out if the man saw the movie,
Wow.
because of course.
Wow.
Yeah, because I don't remember exactly when in the year, but because I remember, this thing is kind of like blocked out of my mind, and for different reasons. When I got that call, it was a late night call, when
Oh,
the thing
nice a
happened.
late night call, Patrick. One of them real late night call after 2 o'clock.
Yeah, man, it was one of them kind of call there,
Yeah.
because by the time my uncle, because he was still living with my uncle, Uncle Louis. Don't know if
Yeah.
you ever hear him talk about Uncle
Yeah,
Louis.
man.
Well,
Yeah, man.
Uncle
You
Louis
sleep
was.
at Cherry Gardens, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. So Uncle Louis was like a father to us.
Yeah.
So we were very close. We used to spend time with him, from school days. We used to spend time with him, and all kind of stuff. But anyway, so when I got that call, man, I mean, it was, yeah, that was a
So it was your
big,
uncle who
big,
called you, Patrick?
yeah.
Okay.
It was because,
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
mm, yeah, because because remember his address would have been Uncle Louis' address. So I guess they contacted Uncle Louis first,
Yeah.
and then Uncle Louis reached out to me and thing. Yeah.
And
Yes,
if
sir. But
you go ahead, finish, because I want to ask you a question about it. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead. The
No,
question.
and if you don't mind, Patrick, if you want to relive it, not really, but I don't like exactly what happened to Robert. If you don't mind, tell me exactly what happened.
Yeah, I can tell him, man. I mean, it was a classic case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So Robert, being the friendly guy is, Robert get along with everybody, and him always very helpful to those around him and things. So one of his pals from work, I think they had some affiliation with this. It's like a joint, like a bar kind of business setup, right? And they hung out there, the co-workers from the same
And where was
ministry,
the bar, Patrick? Where was the bar?
It is, oh boy, I can't remember the name of the street, but it's near to Halfway Tree. So it's like if you're going down Hagley Park,
Yeah.
from Halfway Tree going, I don't know if that is south, but whatever that
Yeah, man,
direction
that's
is,
all
like
that.
you're
I
going,
go towards, I
going
get
towards
towards
three,
3 miles,
you're going
yeah.
towards 3 miles, right?
Team,
So
right.
it's not that far down. It's a road off on the left,
It's
right?
not far from the workplace.
Not that far from the workplace.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
could have walked. And I
Yeah,
figure
man,
that's what had happened,
understandable.
right?
That's a common thing, man. You leave your work and you have a hangout spot. Yeah,
Yeah, man, and
yeah.
they play dominoes and them take a couple drinks and
Yeah,
so
man,
on. But
yeah. That's a common thing, yeah.
on that occasion now, by the time they were about to lock up, because he was helping the owner of the establishment to, them get things around. Him and the co-worker, they were helping to lock up, and some guys came to rob the place, right?
Oh.
So the robbery now is in progress, and I'm just hearing all of this from one of the survivors, right? That the guy come and, it's more than one of them. I think it was at least two guys. And them have gun and thing, and then start taking the man them wallet, and we got robbers and thing, what robbers do. But the boyfriend of the lady who owned the place was in his car at some distance away and observing what was going on, and he carried a licensed firearm. So he saw what was in progress and decided to challenge the men, right? So the way I hear it, and I can't, I can't say the veracity of this or not, but apparently he fired at one of them, but missed. So the fact that he missed now caused them to, in a panic
To
reaction, start firing.
escalate, yeah.
Yeah, them no stuff, and Robert was in front of one of the right in front, because like he, probably had the gun pointed at Robert at the time. So Robert basically never had a chance.
He must have come to him. Yeah.
So it really, that was it. That was it for him.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those things. Being there at the
wrong place at the wrong time.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Did they ever catch those men, Patrick? You don't know.
I'm not sure because we used to get follow-up calls from the police and thing, and at one point they said they killed one of them, and I don't know if they're just telling us that to kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it could have been true, but maybe they did catch and kill. I don't know, but
yeah, it's as I say, it's a Jamaican multi-purpose always the police do that and say them a clear up a crime thing. And you can't know that because you don't know. I mean, understand because that is very, very, very unfortunate how Robert went, Patrick. And the first time I hear the details, I knew him was just like most of what you said me I hear. He was caught in a crossfire close to the workplace. But me hear a different story. Not about the crossfire, about where it was. Some people them up on the boulevard in front of Calabar. You know where Zeddy Garden was? Or is?
No. It was really near Halfway Tree.
No, man, and that made sense to me because I know the same the work. The last time I saw him, when I migrate, December 2000, I come up here. And like the week before me I come up here, I drive past JBC. Them time the big bus terminals never built yet, Patrick. And I drive past JBC and see him. And I say, boy, I go foreign, And I say, yeah, man, we keep in touch. And that was 2000. When me say he died, man, I was shocked, man.
Man. Trust me. Very shocking thing, though. Very shocking thing.
Yeah, man.
It's not the kind of call you want to get. You know what I mean?
No. I Diego the tell me, because man, Diego kept very close to each other. Because I used to call.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Diego used to tell me the same call him every Sunday. Them would talk every weekend. Robert would call him talk about the football. He was an avid
Okay.
sport fan, man. Football, cricket. It's something to you. I saw him not there now because we have some nice conversation about the demise of West Indies cricket and all with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
No. I mean, as we said, I go primary school with him from 74 and all the way up to when we graduate in us. No, from 69 we started primary together. So and then we kept in touch on and off throughout after we left. Kept in touch good enough. But let me see him. Every now and then we'd have the bus and all with him, we'd see me and me that see him. You know, so
Right.
you don't know him, Dante, you don't know do?
Yeah, man.
And what you have any special memory of him where you want to talk about?
No, well, truth be told, I only knew him through the cricket. And he was a much older man than I was in terms of that.
Yeah. No, man, it was. I just said Patrick, it was fun to be around. I put it that way. A good kind of fun. The same I said to you.
Of course, definitely, man, definitely. And like I said, you see, after he died, and we started, to interact with the people, man, it was such an outpouring. You couldn't believe it, man. Gentlemen, I tell you, it's like, and then for the longest while, I wouldn't leave Uncle Louis' house alone. It came there like in droves every evening for a long time. Long time.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's how lovely it was.
They just wanted to be there, and they just, and I said, boy, whoa, look at this scene. I'm just saying that everybody, every level, any kind of person from that ministry, man, trust me. Yeah. That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah.
No, man, I'm glad you could have talked about my virgin that way there, Patrick. Your brother and my virgin are stuff because I didn't know him good too. Very good, I didn't know him, so. Yeah, man, so you're damn Meadowbrook now as do like a brother now, Patrick, and when you start company you own and I say, boy, yeah, you come from under them shadow. At what point you feel like say, you know what? Me one big man, Man can't call me do like.
Well, I think track and field really was my way to kind of find my own energy and my own presence.
Your own identity, yeah.
Yeah, own identity. Because, I want to give you a funny story because I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but I attempted a race in first round, because, I was assigned to Garchur House, which is the Blue House.
Yeah, I gone to your house, that's man.
I love running, so I used to love watch sports on TV, right? So I watch anything for the watch, ABC, World, anything, man, and including local sports. So, them days of Linda Della Penn and them on their broadcast sports something, So
you cross skill, yeah.
Yeah, all them guys. So I watch and even when them have the review of champs and you see certain races and thing, And I remember watching this guy from Calabar win a 1500 meter, Gilbert Dunkley, and the way he was running, and like an effortless stride and thing. And I just like distance running. There's something about distance running.
Yeah, man.
You can appreciate a sprint race and how fast a man is, but there is something about distance running that appealed to me because, you had to. It's measured force. You can't sprint 800 or sprint a mile or 1500. You can't do that, right? So you have to measure and calculate how you're going to expend your energy as you go, and you'll be tactical about it and smart about it. And I like that, But anyway, coming back to my first farm experience now, because I take up for myself now, tell them to enter me in the 800 meters, That must have been class 4, whatever it was at that time, And let me tell you, man, run dead last in the race. Dead last. I mean, by the time it down bottom field, I think it was almost 2.5 laps. Every bottom field a funny distance, like 230 meters. If you guys remember, right? So bottom field,
right.
It was not full 400 for the track, man.
No, it wasn't.
It was like 230, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was not full 400, yeah.
So it was more than 2 laps around, right? So it was 2 laps and a piece you had to do to get the 800.
To get the 800,
yeah, so when I when I finished the first lap, I bust, and I passed because you used to watch a race and things it's easy.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when I finished that race, you see, I felt like I want to faint.
You just drop out, Patrick.
Yeah, man. Man, run leave me now.
Yeah.
But there's a story behind that though, because after that happened to me, I took it upon myself to start to train
Yeah.
properly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And where we lived, it was fairly hilly. There's some roads with some grades and thing, and we start to run those grades and thing, and
Mm-hmm.
all. And I by the time we got to third form, by the time I think I came into my own by third form, and the guys who beat me in first form could no longer beat me in third form.
In third form. Okay.
Exactly. So
You
I kind
remember
of
the
turned
man
around.
named Patrick? Who the beat in the
Me,
first half?
boy, me can't, me never remember right now. Me never remember who they were,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But by that time I started to develop my talent, and I started to run, you know, much better. I mean, clearly my stamina had improved and tactics and all them things. Because I think my fourth form, I was a top runner. Like in class two, I think I actually won the races at sports day.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
around 8 and 15.
yeah, 8 and 15.
Yeah,
I
man.
think
I remember
if
that.
I remember right, I may have set a record at one point, but I don't remember.
I
Somehow, but yeah, anyway, but yeah, I
no,
don't remember.
I
So
remember that.
I'm not gonna claim anything when I can't remember here. So
No, man.
Yeah. Well, in when I was in first form, I think Patrick and Goosey, R.I.P. version again, were the dominant middle distance runners.
yeah, man, Goosey was a good runner, and in fact,
Yes.
I did a memory about him too,
Yeah, man. Talk
which
about that,
really
Patrick.
remember.
You tell me. You talk about it,
Hmm.
yeah, man.
Yeah, but Goosey was actually ahead of me, right? In terms, I think he was class one before me, right?
Yeah.
So he had a epic race on sports day because that year, and I don't remember the year right now, guys, so don't challenge me on the year, but that he had a class one 1500-meter race with him and Ira Turner. Man, I don't forget that race,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
because
I remember the race.
Goosey had the race leading, Goosey had them out. Goosey had out
Hmm.
everybody in that race, outpaced them,
Hmm.
right? And me swear say Goosey could win the race now. And Goosey wasn't even in my house, right? But Ira was in my house.
Yes.
And Ira run down the man and catch him at the final straight, And I say, Ira, when the race done, and we talk to Ira, of course, we're teammates, Ira, we catch a man. Man said, what do you mean, man? And I say, after the whole of geese chest not big like, what I'm saying, the whole of geese chest not big like half of my own, something like that. For Ira, but Ira put on a race. But Goosey and I had a run on the road because they sent us out on a road run, which they used to do quite frequently.
Hmm.
They for do a long run or whatever. And we went around Roehampton and come around, man. And I tell you, me and Goosey were leading the pack that day. I mean, I run with him because I think that year I was first year class now. I mean, I say, no, let him out of my sight because, I mean this, I have to keep up with the man. I keep up with him the whole way, and even I try to lose him, and no, let him go. And man, by the time we reach Flemington, brethren, the man put on a sprint for me, and I sprint with him, But him get me, him get me,
Yeah.
But we're close. We're running close though. So by them, we realize that me arrive now because me I run with
You're on the big,
big
big
one
man,
like
you
Goosey.
know.
Yeah,
Yes, you're on
yeah,
the elite. Yeah.
yeah. So that was a good
So,
memory.
so who was the
As
Yeah, go ahead, Dante. Sorry.
as we would say nowadays, big ass.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Who,
Yeah.
who,
Yes,
who was the inspiration for track and field, Patrick? Whether internationally or at Millbrook? Can you say you like track and
oh
field
man,
primarily?
I'm going to give you two of them. So the Millbrook one was clearly Stally, right? Because
And for the
Stally.
record, we could call him proper name, like what I call Goosey proper name now. Stanford Brown, the late, great Stanford Brown, R.I.P.,
Stanford Brown.
who passed away unfortunately recently. And then Stallion name
Donut
now
Mir.
was Donat
Donut
Mir.
Mir.
Donat Mir, yeah man.
Donut Mir.
Donat
We
Mir.
call him Donut Mir, but that
Do
Donut Mir, right?
So hold
Yeah.
on, Patrick, before you continue. You know him get the nickname Sally?
No, I don't really know them get the Stally.
No, man, but it's obvious, man. Amir is a female of the stallion.
Oh, gotcha.
Dante, you never know that.
No.
Yeah, man. That's why him get the nickname Stallion, man. His surname Amir. And I said, no, you can't call the big man Mir. So he became as I said, but he was an elite athlete, man. But continue, Patrick, yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you, man, he had an ability, and I saw it firsthand, right? Because I didn't see the champs run, But here's the thing now. Afterwards, we met up because we used to run development meets together, right? Because he kept up running,
After
Because he
school,
went
yeah.
after he came back from scholarship and thing. So there are certain races where we buck up and thing. And let me tell you, man, you watch the man running up. He had an ability to stay at the back of the pack. I don't know how he did. And by the time them reached the 250 meters to go, Starling just put on a pace, and run rivals and reach right up to the front. Serious, It's like it's a kick. It's like you watch those Africans run and see how them just kick past people and thing.
Yeah.
Starling had that kind of ability, and man, it was graceful to watch, man. So he was my local inspiration, for running those races. But my international inspiration was Sebastian Coe.
Sebastian.
Sebastian Coe, man. If you remember, he had a major rivalry with his countryman Steve Ovett.
Steve Ovett, yeah,
Steve
man.
Ovett.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And let me tell you, man, the two never race each other, I think that when he was very young, they met, and at that time Ovett was ahead of him and thing. But when Coe came into his own, they never really raced each other. They avoided each other.
Yeah.
But they both wanted to run the Moscow Olympics in 1980.
Yeah.
Right. So the rest of the world are boycott, but the British never boycotted, but the Brits went.
Yeah.
And they had to run there. And at that point in time, Sebastian Coe had the world record for the 800 meters, right?
Yeah.
Steve Ovett had I think Steve Ovett had the 15. I can't remember, but Coe had the 800, and Coe was expected to win the 8 and probably Ovett took the 15.
Yeah.
So the 800 came first. And man, I tell you, I watched that race and I couldn't believe it. The man made a boo-boo, for a big, top runner. He got boxed in. And Ovett stole the show and win the race. And all the commentators started to say, boy, it looked like same done, because if him losing pet event, there's no way him going to beat Ovett at the stronger event, because 50.
Right.
Yeah.
What he did is done in history, because the way the man run the race, with guts and determination, and the man take up the pace early, and say, boy, nah, catch me, and them couldn't touch him.
It's like him sprinting the 1500, Patrick, yeah.
Yeah, man. But if you go back and watch those tapes, man, it's something to watch.
That rivalry with Patrick was one of the great rivalry in a track and field, man.
In a track and field.
Yeah, man. It was something, because they were breaking world records between them.
Yeah, man.
Then Coe come back and then Ovett break it again, and I saw them going, Yeah, man. The mile and 15 were breaking a lot.
You couldn't pick
but
between the two of them at time.
Fast and one on the 8, But anyway, yes, I don't want to digress too much.
No, man.
Yeah.
I think I heard an interview there. I think he might have run for the president of the IOC. I'm not certain, but I heard him an interview.
He's the president.
He's the president. Yeah. Okay. He's the current president of the IOC. Okay, so I never get that.
Yeah.
But he from Pierce Morgan and man Pierce attack. So yeah. Now, man. Those rivalry I talk about, Patrick, was some legendary rivalry. And it was more than one Olympics. Two of them.
Yeah. But when I went to Los Angeles in 84.
Yeah.
In 84 now, by this time, and it's a good story too, because Coe was sick with glandular fever, and he was selected on the British team, and a lot of people, the press was given a lot of, because they've never really run the trials, right?
Yeah.
The Brits will do that, and they will select people based on just the expected form and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, but they give him a lot of stick for it, because they say, boy, this man, he was sick, him can't come back from this, him not gonna be good and thing. And let me tell you, man, the man come and repeat the 15, him take the 15,
Yeah.
He took it. He got a silver in the 8 because there's a young youth from Brazil named Joaquim Cruz that beat him in the 8.
Yes.
But in the 15, man, boy, the man put on a classic run again, because this time now you had a young upcoming guy named Steve Cram.
Yeah, from Britain as well. Yeah,
my Britain as well, and because he's a younger man now, and Coe had the glandular fever thing and the medical issues. They figured that And man, I tell him, teach the man a lesson, man. And burn him out, man. You must watch the race. Don't watch the race. I say Steve Kramer try his best, all the shake him head and all.
No, man. I remember when, at the first time me actually run the 800 meter like a sprint, man. The only other man.
Yeah, man. Them good, man. Good.
Was before my time from Cuba, Alberto Wantarina. In the sprint, the 800.
Oh, yeah. Yes, man. Yes, remember Wantarina. Yes.
Yeah, man. In the win the 76 Olympics, the 4 and the 8, I think. So, yeah.
Yes, which was a very unusual doubling now.
Yeah, man. Yes. Yeah.
I don't think anybody has done it since.
No,
tell the truth.
8 and the 15 is a easier double, Patrick. You're right. The 4 and the 8 is a tougher thing.
Yeah.
But him was a cut above it. And I look in the Wikipedia page now enough. Douet, 1978 Carifta Games gold medalist Patrick. I think at the first time Meadowbrook ever won, and I don't know if ever win another Carifta gold since. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, if I think of it, I don't think so. No, I don't remember anybody winning 800 at no Carifta.
Well, not even 800.
No.
I don't remember.
No, not at all. Would there have any more Carifta champion?
Since Douet, 1978, and I come up to 50 years and know Dante.
Yeah, he did. When he came back, he did a little coaching at Meadowbrook,
Yeah.
Track and field. Yeah. When I was fooling around like a track and field, same 8:15. He used to coach me.
Yeah, man. No, nice.
Yeah, man, and he was always encouraging me to take it seriously.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was nice. He was one. I think he worked. He was a doctor, and I think he worked at Spanstone Hospital, Patrick.
Right.
Okay,
I spoke to him one time. Yesterday, talk to him, man. I try to get him to come on the podcast, and not everybody ready for coming. So whenever I'm ready, but yeah, man. And I don't know if you remember that Starling used to play. I don't used to play Sunlight. Yeah, I used to play cricket. I used to play like a football. I didn't even play for the Money Cup team. But Starling was one of good all-round athlete, man. All-round nice guy, man. It's like, you see, him, me and Douet and Jacob used to kill him with mountain, man.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I even older than way, him never take us serious at all. He just,
yeah.
He was that sort of personality, man, right? But I know, I never all of mine could have mountain a Dante. Some man can't do that. No, but Sal allow for that, man. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so Patrick, yeah, man. So the running kind of make you blossom out where you feel like you're on your own and all, and you just feel like.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
You come out of this. You know, compete with Robert. I try. It wasn't a competition at all. It was never a competition, but you never worry about some boy. Because Robert never play sports in them, but in the larger than life, as I say, he support most of the sports team them. And you talk about supporting sports, Patrick. You come and watch any of them cricket match when you win?
Yeah, man, we used to watch them, man, because remember we used to have Glenn Atkins, Kraken. We used to call him Kraken.
Yeah, man.
Remember this? You know, I have some memories. There's some weird things that pop up in my mind because I remember there was a Sunlight match that we played on at Bottom Field. It was against Campion? Somehow it's Campion, I think of, And there's a guy named Ducky who went out to face Kraken, man. I mean, I tell you, what I remember, was that the first ball, it's like the man just knock out the man's stumps, uproot the stumps. You don't remember that match there? We can't remember which year it is now.
Yeah. Kraken was fearsome.
Fearsome, man, because they're fast, Because the guy never even get a chance. By the time he put on the bat, man. The ball reaches stumps.
Let me tell you about Kraken, man. Can we describe Kraken? Even on the podcast, we tell him. Kraken are the best fast bowler. In my mind, we never make the West Indies team, the great West Indies team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's how good it was to me, Patrick. Because from first farm, and they put him more Kraken to win, It was fast, But I don't think him the extending pace to way at all. We ease up when we practice.
Okay, yeah.
Unless someone I remember man with Kraken. When you really want to Kraken, man, you come watch a match, man, and see him play, man. Kraken a play Sunlight from first farm, Dante. When you talk about the pads them bigger than the foot, man, the pads them reach up on belly. But it was fast from then. And the first time, you watch cricket on TV and all them with them, never got test match yet. I am the first man to say about a bunk side of Dante, where the man have to rock out of the way, Yeah, man, that's how good Kraken was, Patrick. You're right
No
about
man, him
that,
good
man.
man because somehow that memory stuck in my mind because I remember when the guy was going out to face him, and it's like, and when the guy came back, because I was in the pavilion, when the guy come back, he was like him say, he like him shake him head, and I could see it on him face, like say, boy,
Him
him don't
can't,
even know what happened to
him
him.
can't
Yeah,
believe that.
yeah, man, more than the ducks, man, ducks.
Him can't believe what, man. Enough man cracking to that too, man. I remember one
Yeah.
year, and this after we left school, Dante, when I play Evelyn Cup, Patrick. 'Cause after we leave
Mm.
school, we play Evelyn Cup. And do the coming up for them match too. Right? And we play the Jamaica National Women's team. And I don't know if you remember a woman named Vivian Lattiscott. You remember that?
Yes.
She's captain of the Jamaica Women's
Yes.
team.
Yes.
Then I play on her
Okay.
bottom fin and she started running off her mouth. Like, and cracking ball her bounce at Dante up on her bottom to drop.
You
Yeah.
serious? Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Gosh, I think so. We're a schoolboy. I'm
Yeah.
cracking rock her bounce at Dante.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, man. Cracking fearsome, Patrick. Cracking fearsome, man. So, yeah.
I saw cracking, Evelyn Cup, because him leave school before I
Yeah,
came.
man. Yeah.
I-
When you come to school, the
Yeah.
just leave a year, 81, and the
And
exchange, yeah.
I couldn't imagine that there was a bowler quicker than him.
No, right. You're right. Yeah, when am I playing Cup for? Yes, Dante, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Now, man, me always pray for bottom in a training and all. But as I say, me just feel say man is easy up when I play in a training. So.
Yeah, maybe if you want to save on the man, can they on the same team?
Yeah, exactly. No, man. I'm one of most friend, man. He wasn't like one of them, man. He was a genuine guy to man. Very genuine and easygoing guy to man. And laugh and everything, see me. But, I'm very competitive. So, yeah. Yeah, Patrick. So, I remember, Patrick, because one thing I remember you as, right, was you were a very studious person, You do your track and field, but you did take your book seriously, far more seriously than me. Right?
I don't, boy, but Jelly, I don't think so, I don't think
I'm
so.
drunk. Maybe it's from a distance.
Man.
I hear it.
No, me never so serious with the book because I was fortunate to be in the farm with some guys who were fairly brainy, right? So
Like
I had
who?
guys,
Call out them name, man. Like who you attack?
Rocky man, Rocky was one of the brainy guys.
Okay, Rocky Roden.
Yeah, man, Rocky was on the brainy guy who, always fishing the top.
And hold on, Patrick. Rocky, I'm right name or just a nickname?
It's a nickname. So his name is Michael Roden.
Michael Roden. Okay, all right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Michael Roden and Terence Strong, and later on Timon Ward, because I think Timon came into the stream at some point, were the brainy guys, and they always used to get, of course, good marks and so on, right? So I was one that joke at them in the class here, man, and I think some of it probably was that we're processing. I think Robert was like me too, where we never really focused on the studies, right?
Mm-hmm.
We knew it was important, but somehow never focused on it.
It wasn't a big deal at all. I can attest to that. Robert and I had the same. Yeah.
No, and I know, and I'm going to say this, and I only because he's not here to say it for himself, right? But Robert and I had some challenges, on the home front, we had some challenges, and not everybody knew about that because I don't think we really spoke to a lot of people about it, right?
Yeah.
But while at high school, our old man had some personal issues, with alcohol and all them things, and yeah, so it kind of put a little damper on us, and
I didn't know. I didn't know that,
yeah,
Patrick. I didn't know that.
Yeah, right. It made life a little challenging. So, and I'm not trying to say that's an excuse, but
No.
for young minds, looking back, because as a mature, you can look back and say, boy, I think I could have done better if the platform was a little different. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. I don't really have regrets about my life and how I turned out, right? But,
Yeah.
Right.
but just looking back and knowing it for what it is, because I would never have done that to my son, knowing that it's not a good thing to do,
Yeah.
If nothing else, it taught me
What not to do.
What not to
What
do,
not to do. Yeah.
what not to do, because I see it and I kind of felt sorry for him because these things are really
It's like a demon, you know, Patrick. It's like a demon. Some people can't get rid of it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
It's an illness, it's an illness.
It is.
You
It
know,
is.
some
It is. It is. It is.
yeah,
And I think you don't pick your parents, you know, Patrick. You don't pick your parents at all, you know. And when you come in this world, you don't know who you're going up with as a parent. It's like you just know, say you're there. And not all of us lucky or blessed enough for our parents to have them challenges there at all. So I understand. I understand, Patrick.
Yeah, man. Because I can tell you, I mean, I repeat it before, man. I put it out there.
I repeat it for farm too. I
got very high that, you know. Yeah,
right.
I repeat it before. So, you know, I mean, to show you that means I was not really among the ship, but I took common entrance the first time. Sorry, not common entrance. the GCE. By the way, I want to mention this. There's a school memory that I have. By the time my year got to fifth form, we were changing from GCE to CXE. CXE was just, if I remember right, was just being introduced.
Yeah.
And in fact, we did some courses in GCE and some in
CXE, right?
Yeah, man.
There was a parallel run at some point.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there was like a transition period. I mean, it was a transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the courses were transition. I remember, for example, doing biology and all that in GCE, but my history and geography and what else? I think mathematics were in CXC.
Right.
So we're going through all of that drama, and I remember feeling very apprehensive about it because, you know, we always used to hear about GCE, right? Everything was GCE.
Yeah, man. The
CXC, and we have to do CXC, and we said,
no, man.
What if it's an inferior exam, and you wonder if it's good, and you know, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure us, boy, it is just as rigorous, you know, academically, and you know, what all the good stuff, you know. And anyway, history.
Because I repeated fifth form project. I think I did a couple subjects in a CXC too, and I see him when things new, you know, it's like when I look down upon CXC and I said, "Sure, I know the right exam that and all everything there." It's me, I said to you, I suppose. But when you realize it was just as strenuous and just as, you know. But at the time, when you're in a transition period, because you used to one thing, you kind of figure, right, so what am I giving this for now? I
think CXE for most subjects was actually harder. Because GCE was around even in my days, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have opted to the GCE.
CXE.
CXE, if you want.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, I thought that switched over by the time it got to you, Donovan. But
no,
apparently you never realized
they had switched over, you know, but it was still available to you.
Yeah, if you wanted it privately, you could have gone to London.
Right.
GC. You remember you could have done the exam then private one time in a Patrick. You go to school.
Yes, I remember the private thing. I remember
you go to London and London was just as good as the Cambridge. I want you pass a London or Cambridge.
Yes.
So it was accepted, basically.
Right.
Yeah, as qualifications up in my time.
Yeah, man. So Jelly, I figure you're leading to the academic part of the questioning, and I'll make you go ahead with your question.
No, the question was, maybe I was misled because you just always the quiet and studious, and three on the track and field, and you're so quiet, man, so rad is my.
Well, track and field was my escape, man, because like I tell you, we used to have some mischief makers in the class, So I remember even there was a time when Spanner was teaching. I don't know what happened to the regular Spanish teacher, and Miss McLennan, who is also known as Spanner, had to fill it. And we have throw paper plane when she now looking and all that. But that boy kind of foolish pranks and thing we do. But she was very strict, and let me tell you, man, when she suspect that you're doing anything, she come up to you, and question you. Yeah, man. Boy, I tell you, I had some memories there with Spanner.
Yeah,
and I will share one with you where it's like I totally misunderstood what she wanted me to do. So we're in a Spanish class, and she came up to me and apparently wanted me to repeat what she was saying, but I thought she wanted me to translate it, right? So she came and she said, "¿Qué es esto?" And I said, "What is this?" Because she had already told us what it was. I said, "What is this?" Right? Case Esther, what is this? Case Esther, and the man start laugh after me because me I tell her, and she was keep saying what she wanted me to say, what she's saying, but of course I misunderstood. So
No,
yeah, a little bit of embarrassment.
I have something to say about that Spanish thing, the Patrick. We never had a Spanish at primary school. As anybody who go primary school at Jamaica. I don't know which primary school is Spanish, but we never did a primary, right? And
no, we never.
No, and me not the Spanish class. I'm gonna call a virgin name, right? As they said, I remember this, I think a first or a second form, and the teacher said, Mrs. Nelson too. I don't know if you remember, Mrs. Nelson Patrick.
Yes, man, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, man, she come on the podcast and check out your listen. Come and talk with us here a while. And I don't think I repeated that one, yeah. This one I know, my brethren in the class, and like she had, speaking that Spanish now, and like she had said, see, and she said, like, see, as for that. I remember exactly what she had said, But the guy rolled it off now, and she said, but you don't see the comma. You must pass with the camera. You must recognize the camera. And the brother Dante and Patrick. The man says, see, comma, it's for that.
Oh boy. Oh my.
I was impressed nothing, man. But I remember, if we hear this, and I might remember it, but me not call him name. So even though if Robert there, I know exactly how me talk about.
Okay.
And Diego know how me talk, and some other one don't know how me talk. But Patrick, by the way, did you know that Inga Walker was Miss McLennan's niece?
Yes, man, I know, man. They don't know Inga very well,
So you knew that from school?
No, I didn't know it from school, It's afterwards I found out.
Yes.
It's afterwards I found out. Or did I find out at school? I don't think I found out at school. But here's the thing now. I met Inga's mother at church.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm. So they have been on the podcast doing a Patrick, our mother and Carol. Inga didn't come, yes. But go ahead, Patrick, sorry.
Oh, yeah, man. So here's the joke now. So our mother and father will meet, Yeah, man. So we know them, man. And then now, it turns out that Inga lived in Cherry Gardens around, not far away from where my uncle lived.
Okay.
So we used to go visit Inga and all them things. Yes, man. Yes. Yeah. So Inga and I were good friends, In fact, I must find out how she's doing because, in my mind running her the other day, I know she was, the last time I spoke with her, she was working at the IRS.
Oh, she lived here, yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she live in the States. And she, the Doge thing, me kind of wonder about that because they need to kind of go after the IRS. So, anyway.
The dog thing, not the Doge, the dog thing.
Yeah, Oh, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, that's a different thing. But yeah, no, but I had known, I don't know how I know, but I didn't know while I was going to school, Patrick, so I didn't know. But very few people knew though. That's how Miss McLennan wanted. And Carol and I were in the sixth farm together. That's her Inga older sister.
Yeah, man, I know.
Yeah, man. No, man. And she's arranged for the conversation when you come on and Anna Miss McLennan. I think it was number 100 with Anna Miss McLennan. That's for a podcast, and her sister came.
Right.
That's Miss McLennan's sister came on, and our niece, when our niece came on and Carol came on. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have any other fun memories at Meadowbrook, Patrick, where you want to tell about where we miss?
Yeah, well, lunchtime was always a fun time, right? Because we had a canteen there and thing, and you could hang out with your friends, in a different kind of a setting, and we just used to have our little talks and so on, and all kind of things used to happen, lunchtime and things. So those were some of the fun times I remember. Of course, watching sports. There was a year, and you guys can maybe Jelly, you remember this. There was 1 year that we did well in basketball. I remember
Oh yeah, man, yes, man. 1980 that Patrick. 1980 Alton.
78. 78.
78, Dan, yeah, you may be right, Dante. I don't remember the year.
Yeah, 78.
Well, here's the thing now, Dante. So because remember there was no feature of them thing, but that year we won something. I mean, you remember
it was Division 2.
Yeah, man.
Division 2 basketball champion.
Division 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Them time the basketball was a take off in Jamaica. Yeah, I remember most of them man. Alton, Dave
Alton, yes.
Gary Harris, I think he played on a team there. And
Gary Harris. Yeah, I just said the name them. I start remember them. So I remember
Chung the paper on that team. Richie and Ian Chung the paper on that team that too.
Yeah, man. It's a prideful moment.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember which other moments now.
So you love basketball that time, Patrick. I just follow it. Because basketball was a new thing in Jamaica.
It was, but because we're doing well, and you guys, actually, if I remember, them play a game right up at the school there, right? Them play.
Yeah.
Right, right at school.
Right at school, man. Remember playing and thing, and remember that. Funny enough, what crossed my mind now was graduation. Graduation was just something about that ceremony. Was just very, there's something about it. You just feel some pride, Graduate, in the pre-form graduation thing.
Yeah.
That memory was a very pleasant memory for me. It's kind of like you feel like you achieved something, even though it's really more ceremonial. I don't know. Yeah, but I felt something. At graduation.
Your graduation was at the church or the assembly?
It's at the assembly hall, Yeah, it's
at the assembly hall. Okay.
Yeah, the assembly hall we use. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Them the sermon, the one at the school hall is better to me. Thing at the school hall.
It was very good. It was very good. It was very good.
Nice. Yeah. So, me ask you another question, Patrick. What the most embarrassing moment you can remember? Well, you can look back on now with a smile.
Well, I think I may have told you already, You see that attempt at first form for the run that race. Pick it up on myself because things that I can run because my mind I can run, but I was very good practicing run at the time, but finishing last in the race was an embarrassment. But you look back on it and it really helped you to become who you are, because had I not had that experience, we wouldn't get the kind of
the courage to go try out and go on. Yeah.
Go train properly now.
Yeah.
Turn up and run those hills, because we do some hills and things, and that's how we get strong and get stamina. Yeah, man. That is the thing, Yeah. But that was a rough moment. Tell the truth, that was a rough moment,
You know what it could have been though? In first form, you probably have some second formers who probably would have been bigger guys in the same class that you are running.
It could be too. But remember, I wasn't officially a runner yet, I just thought I was, because we used to like the sport. We used to like watch it, But I really wasn't training on, I wasn't really.
I know exactly what I'm to Patrick Dante. I'm going to relate that incident to you. I don't think I ever relate this program yet. I never, not Meadowbrook, so that's why I never go up at all. Never have not Pembroke call. 1 year, I think I 77. When remember, or 76, when the government said, boy, for vacation in Jamaica, and there was 2 hotels at the time, like Go Bananas, right? So the whole year, man carried on a holiday in Oterios, right? First time I go hotel and all, I remember I go hotel with the and me and Patrick sit down, and that I'm my brother, because people are standing somewhere with me, my whole brother, right? Sit down at the pool now, I'm the love pool, right? But I can't swim, Dante, can't swim.
Yeah.
And them look at youth now, foreigner now, come in now, and it's like, them jumping at the deep end and just come out back like on a nothing, Dante. So hear me now, Patrick, hear me say now.
Yeah.
Listen to my brother say, I'm going to try that thing and jump in, and I'm going to say, you know what, jump to the can, if anything. I go to the matter with that Dante. He said, I jump down in the water.
I struggle.
Yeah, but him see me a struggle. He said, hold up on him. He said, I will drag him down in the water,
Oh, boy.
So, sometimes, Patrick, that's why I relate to it. You see a man do a thing, And you say, but that look easy, because that come to you, then you see him run, you say, right, yeah, man, you can't do that. Without knowing the skill and the training, yeah, man, not exactly what I talk about, man. I never forget that Dante, and that's almost 50 years ago, 76 or 77, that damn to my man. But I never forget the time, I never forget that. And then, up to this day, don't think say I can't swim to save my life, alright. Me need a...
Even though?
No, Patrick. I mean, I can swim a little bit, but not to say, I'm going to jump in a deep end I said, boy, I can't go in a deep end and cross the pole because I know enough. But don't ask me to save nobody. Don't ask me to save a chick or a child.
Okay. Gotcha. Not a lifeguard. Not a lifeguard. Yeah,
No.
gotcha.
Yeah. I think we're about the same level.
No, I love the water, Dante, but I never learned to swim at all. And if we come from Jamaica, man, I say live on water. I said, no. So when we go on beach anyway, man, the water must be below my shoulder, man. Have to be, Dante.
Yeah. That's me.
Have to be, Patrick. I hear you.
All right.
So, let me ask you another question, Patrick. What the best learning experience you get by attending Meadowbrook?
Let me think about that one. I think to value friendships for one, because we have some enduring friendships from school days. Because even us now, all three of us here talking, the friendship we can connect, from that time. So you learn to bond with your fellow students, and some of those bonds carry through life.
Yep.
I developed close friendships with guys like Rocky and Patrick Bolt. Patrick Bolt was in my same year, but we kind of got close and thing. In fact, I need to touch bases with him because I know he was living in Hawaii.
Okay.
Yes.
One day that's but
that was one of them.
Rocky still living in Jamaica though.
Yes, as far as I know, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because he's running the family business,
Yeah, man, I know the family business on a Waymouth Drive. Yes, I'm aware of that. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So all of that going on and thing. But I need to ping him because sometimes let's catch up. Other than that, to just to strive for what you want. The value of hard work and thing. It certainly helped me in the sporting field. You had to put in the effort to get some results, and academically too, because like I mentioned, I repeated fifth form, but what is the second chance, right? It served me well, because just not achieving enough the first attempt forced you to go back to the drawing board and put in more effort, right?
Yeah, that's exactly my story to Patrick. I repeat it.
Because I could tell you, I felt, you felt badly because a lot of your colleagues would have left you behind because, they went up to sixth form and staying back. It's not a nice feeling in that regard, right? But you learn the lesson and you use the next opportunity. You utilize it to a higher degree, right?
Yeah.
Because I did more subjects. I got, I can't remember how many right now, but enough that I could access UE, right? And I, ended up going to university and all that. I worked first, but I eventually did all of that. So it gave me the springboard. It gave me the foundation, and that's important,
Then you never got to sixth form, Patrick. You did sixth form?
No, I never did. I never went to sixth form. So
okay.
I went to work after. After repeating fifth. You want some money in the pocket too, I wasn't wealthy like you guys, wasn't wealthy like you guys. So I need some money in the pocket. So
I'd repeat. I got six. I'd repeat and then I end up I got sixth form, but that's when I want the cricket and all them with this. So yeah. So I can relate to that, Patrick. And I like your story. I never started Euro right away. I went to cast a year after I left sixth form. And then I got into Euro part-time. Because them days
right. Like... It's part-time I started too, yes.
Yeah,
I started part-time.
Yeah, man. Them days when Dante, I go cast, you I lick the thing, Like, you go cast, you feel like it's inferior at place you go. It's a message. You take for the young people, my listeners.
But Jelly, don't knock cast, because...
No, I'm not knocking, Patrick. I'm not knocking to
know. No, because here the thing what I heard, was that even though at the time, cast may not have been perceived at the level of UE, they were producing graduates who were very practical oriented and
you're not
more easily employable. No, seriously, because I heard from more than one employers that cast graduates were
superior.
Like
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah. No,
Better
no.
prepared for
prepared.
the working world,
No, no.
kind of thing.
I'm well aware of that, Patrick. Even at the time, after I started, you realize, especially engineering. Especially in the
Yeah.
engineering department, cast engineer them. I work for man, from Permacal, went to cast and I just said the quality of where I get a cast, it never had the recognition like you, had reputation. But I thought you get better quality education at cast.
Yeah.
But reputation at the time when you're young, it's like you want to tell your friends, I go, you
Of course.
It's Master Dante. You get
Yeah, it was a prestige from a
yeah,
prestige
man, yes,
standpoint.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you want to the friends say I go you, man. You don't want to tell them say that. But and that was a mistake. Cause cast level of education, even at the time, Patrick, I can attest to that. And you take for the young people, man. I don't know what it is like now if I the same stigma attached to it or level of that.
No, but remember they became accredited now, which is why I think they became a university, right? Rather
University
University of
right.
Technology. Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody should look on the same as one place,
Yeah, they should. They really should. Yeah.
And as far as me concerned, cars have better practical skill more than you.
Yes, I always
Still,
heard. Always heard.
Still, no, I'm not know about that, Dante. Right.
Yeah. Cause I mean, like even now, well, you employ people from both, but you usually prefer to get a man from UTech.
Yeah. You take all right, name Dante. Thank you. Yeah.
Still more. Well, it's cast, I went to cast though. I went to cast as well. But we have a little joke. I would say a man. I mean, a man who go the real veteran them say cast.
Yeah.
Got
A man them would just go the other day say you UTech.
Ah, yeah. So
Yeah.
the real man like you and I know that's a cast. Yes.
Cast. Yeah.
And the people I hear this and wonder what I talk about. No, you check what I talk about. See, yeah, Dante. Yes.
Yeah. But Patrick,
Yeah.
you came to IBM for a little bit while I was there.
Yes. So my IBM career it's a funny thing, because I was a client of IBM first, right?
Okay.
So I ended up knowing a lot of the guys at IBM, and I went to courses at IBM. And I think I ended up getting the opportunity to join IBM is that they had a course in performance tuning on the what was then called the ACE 400. You know that
400. Yeah.
Right. Because even up to this day I work on that platform, So
Okay.
anyway, I got top marks in the class. I was a top student in the class.
Okay.
So so I kind of it gave me a little bit of a thing with them, and we were in touch a lot, because in all of my jobs serving on that platform, I was like the point of contact to, if you need to escalate anything to IBM or if they needed to call the account to, whatever, the relationship is a kind of relationship thing. So when they end up with a vacancy now for what they used to call them SEs back in the days, right? Systems engineers.
Systems engineer, right?
Yeah. So that's how I got into that space, And I really appreciate because that helped my career a lot because you can imagine such a big company, there's a lot to learn. And I learned a whole lot from IBM. I really thank them for the exposure, Really great experiences I had.
Yeah, man, big time. I mean, when I was at IBM, I worked in accounts.
Oh, you were in accounts.
Yeah, man. I launched my IT character from there. My IT career from there.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I stayed at IBM. I taught myself programming.
What?
And just man.
You're one of the brilliant them.
Yeah, man, and we move from there. So IT from there all the way.
So you never initially an IT person at all, Dante?
You want me? I've gotten into accounts at the time there. It's Spanner that organized it for me still,
Oh, you work at IBM?
Yeah, man. Spanner did set everything for me.
Whoa. I never knew she did everything then.
Yeah, it's a on the job training thing.
Oh, I get you.
Mm-hmm.
I get you. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And that's that, I go UA and everything, university and everything from there. But I taught myself programming while at IBM and
Nice.
moved from there to IT jobs right through.
Nice, nice. And that's where you
Yeah,
met Greg. That's where you met Greg, right? Yeah.
yeah. I met Greg, man. No man, I
You met him
knew
from
Greg
school. Oh,
from
you met him
from
from
Meadowbrook.
school.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, but after we had we linked up at a place where we work together in IT.
Yes,
For
I remember. I think I know which company it is, you know, because he spent a long time, yeah, at a
there.
certain place. Yeah,
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 man.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
Yes,
Let,
sir.
let,
Yeah.
let
So,
me,
so the world, small, man.
yeah, man,
Boy,
yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. Let me ask you a question, Patrick, and you have to think about this question because I always have to ask this question as a man, I'm give him credit for telling me if you ask a question. I say the Franklin, right? And the question is, what do you think can be done to inspire Meadowbrook students to want to give back to the school? I have an idea and I look upon it a little different, but I want to hear what you think. It's not say you
Oh,
want to do it if you book a Meadowbrook man or a woman, you know. What do you think you
yeah.
could have tell them to make them want to give back to the school?
Oh,
And when I say give back, it doesn't necessarily mean money, you know. It don't necessarily mean money, because sometimes it's the whole power way they can give back, Patrick. And money are the easiest way it look like, but it's not necessarily money me I talk about.
right. To give back to the school.
Yeah,
Well, you
man.
know what? I would say, you see, when you look at what America's produced, right? I don't know if you remember, you might remember this, Jelly. There was a year, you see, when Meadowbrook was regarded as the top school
Yeah, man.
for
Yes.
value added to students. And
Yeah,
I don't
man.
remember the
Yes.
metrics that they used now,
A girl.
how complicated the metrics were. But we were the number one school
I know the
in
matrix,
terms of
Patrick.
adding value to a student.
A girl
Yeah.
came on the
So,
podcast and talk about it, man. I soon tell you her
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
name.
man, I remember it very clearly. And and I said to myself, I said, boy, I'm a testament to that, because like I wasn't a great student, and I will tell anybody that. I won't claim to be. But guess what? The school prepared me for life in a way
Yep.
that has made me a worthwhile citizen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've held a career from age 18 to now. You know what I mean? I think
Mm-hmm.
as the fundamentals that I got from the school. Not to mention, being a rounded person, because it's not just academics, right? It was the sports and the exposure to friendships and all of that rolled into one, right? And I think the school is still continuing to do that, right? I can't imagine doing otherwise. So
Yep.
yeah, I think it's a good thing to invest into something that does that, right? When you think of how many, students go wayward, I mean, in some other environments, and I can't speak to the other environments, but sometimes people miss them place and them just don't get the formula. It's
Yeah,
just like you
yeah.
don't have environment that kind of set you straight and set you on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And who does that? So I think it's a good thing. It's a worthwhile thing to invest in, whether it's by time. I like to say, Jelly, money is the easiest thing because sometimes, boy, them say, because money fungible and money can do anything, it's flexible. You give, yeah, that might be one way. That might be an easy way to give, right? But sometimes the time is important too. If you can go teach, give a speech or teach somebody, quote somebody, whatever skills you have, share it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, but that's the approach I would use because we have seen what the school has produced. And I think you said all on your intro a lot, Jelly. The things like the kind of achievements you have coming from a small school like that.
Yeah,
You
man.
know?
Yeah. But
Yep.
I just think about what you say, and I don't talk about that enough, man, but it's important. Because what
Yeah, man.
Middlebrook
Yeah,
did at the early, I think Dr. Morris was principal at the time. And I almost think so we still do it, It's like the level of improvement, we were number one in that. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
if you come at Meadowbrook and like a level was like a level 5, by the time you leave Meadowbrook, most of the students in general reach to a level 2 or a level 1. That was the strength of Meadowbrook, Patrick. That was the selling point.
That is it. The value add.
Yeah, man. It's not was a top school, but we showed the greatest improvement across all ground.
Exactly.
I don't know if you still have a survey because that's how many people measure thing. It's not about who are number one.
You know what they're doing nowadays? They're looking at passes and all them kind of thing. They're not put champion.
Right.
But that's not because guess what? You know, they say it's not a fair comparison because champion gets the best raw materials because it's from the primary schools going to champion. So of course you're going to have the continuing legacy of people performing highly in academics, right?
Yeah,
man.
But when you get as you know, you gentlemen know, we get sometimes those not so great. But then we still improve them, you know.
But that was testament to how we won some trophy in the 80s, Patrick. That was part of the testament, you know. I know we get Rhodes Scholar, you know. It's like we never get the creme de la creme as students. We get good enough.
No.
And we created them into competitors where we beat the best of the best. On the sports field and in our academics. So that was the strength of Meadowbrook. That is the strength of Meadowbrook. That's why I see it, Patrick.
Right.
But I don't think we talk it tough enough. The value added, what we are present. I've got to find a way of present it. But this is how I look on it, you know, because an article came out last week. It was in the news all over Jamaica to where the principal of Permacal Primary was saying like 70% of the students in the 7th grade who just come to school. Permacal secondary matter about no, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know I'm close to Permacal. I go to primary and I live at Permacal for 40 years, right? So I was interested. My wife got to Permacal. I know Dante's wife went to Permacal secondary too. So our Permacal high now. I a secondary.
Dante, your wife went to Permacal?
Yeah, man. Pembrokeshire. Yeah, when it turned high.
Yeah, man.
I never realized I was so connected to the school, man. What you say?
Yeah, man.
What your wife went to Permacal, Patrick?
No. But it's just that because I went to the school, you know, and they know this is the connection because I know you went there and Dante had a connection.
No, the I she went to Patrick, not the primary, the I.
But no, for me, hey, listen, man, from Pembroke, not the name.
The one name, because anybody who know Pembroke, it's right beside one another, like a one school. Yeah.
Because we used to look across the fence, you know, from the primary school.
Exactly.
Secondary, you know. Yeah, exactly.
But you know, I actually was at one point the vice president for the football Pembroke Football Club.
The football for the community, Dante.
Yeah, for the community. Yeah.
So you know Roots good then.
Yeah, man. Roots are the president. Well, Roots are lifelong president.
Yeah, man. Roots are the president. Roots are the mere Pembroke Dante.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man. My roots go even beyond that. Before that. Before my stint with them, me and Roots. So my roots very close.
Yeah, man. Roots are foundation. Yeah, so the article came out, Patrick and Dante. I don't know if you see it or hear about it. And the principal was saying that 70% of the students in the 7th grade cannot even recognize letters. Not alphabet. Yeah, man, that's how bad it is.
I think I saw something like that.
I went to send it to you when I done Dante. I went to send it to I can't save the article.
No, I saw it, man. I saw it. To me, I don't think that person should have written that article.
No. But and why you think so, Dante? Because my wife, of course, bought it in like them show like a Pembroke alone had a problem. I mean, no, say it's not Pembroke alone had a problem.
But the way it's written is as if Pembroke have a problem.
Yeah, that's the impression
if you have kids that can't read at a grade 3 level, them shouldn't be in high school, and you can't blame them. No,
I'm a Pembroke problem because I think it's across a whole heap of school, and the fact I said the same thing to Dante, and I couldn't understand why the principal gave such an interview and put it the way he put it. I just said maybe the person write the article, Dante.
I think it's the way the article came out. I can't imagine that the principal
approved that. Yeah.
Would have said it in that way to make it sound like, you know.
Yeah, but what it did, no, and maybe this is the purpose why them do it the way them do it. It attract a whole heap of attention, right? So, and me I think about it, and me talk to the people in my Pembroke or a chat group at Pembroke I look on it. Kind of think we need Pembroke as a brand, yes, right? I know it's a school, as I said, Patrick, and the brand Pembroke everything I want, right? Nobody I look at and say, boy, them not differentiate Permacal the community from the school, them not at all. They must hear the name Permacal and Serati. So this is and this all this relates to Meadowbrook to me. Me just think say, if you want, I think say if you find a card to give back to Patrick, if you're talking about Meadowbrook alum or even not Permacal, but Meadowbrook I talk about I know. If you have a card to say this is a bigger cause, this is where you're giving your time or your money to. I think it's an easier sell. That's how we look upon it. It's like when you tell a man, say, if you just give back, where you give back to? It's me I said, so, no? It's like, you tell a man, say, boy, why you not give back to your school? The man I say to you, give back for what? What am I giving for? But if you have a bigger vision than like in the case of Permacal now, how many look to the solution of that now, you know? The only way, and it's not a Permacal problem. Let me just say that over and over, that people understand.
It is definitely not.
Not a Permacal exclusive problem. That problem what me you're saying in the States though. Because I thought in 2004 for about 18 months, Patrick. I don't know if you know that, right? I thought that same age group that Dante, them just ready for go high school in Jamaica, middle school, them call it that so. And I taught 30 children. And we could have get the same statistics 2004, I'm not getting better.
Wow.
70% of them could not read and write. Like how we could have read and write when we left primary school at Jamaica. So me know when we see the article, me know it's not a Jamaica problem or Permacal problem, right? But at the same time, it is a problem, and I say it affect my community and my school of music. Because I look and I say, boy, the primary school, that's another thing again, is that most of the kids don't come from Permacal primary for God here. Most of the people who go Permacal identity don't live in a Permacal. Me say 70% of them don't live in a Permacal.
No, that's a fact.
And it's not so I mean excuse, you know, because it shouldn't matter where them come from, Dante, because it is a complicated issue. I mean, all that about solution, Patrick. I mean, I say this is a cause, I think, say, and this is not about Meadowbrook anyway. I mean, just say Meadowbrook need a cause. A bigger cause. That's what I look upon it. I lead up to this because I work on it with the principal. I mean, I talk about it until the time comes. But I think if you have a cause, you can go to the people in the community and say, this is what we want to do by 2035. Whatever year you set the goal for, this is what we want to target for. You see me, I said to you. And we can't say it initially because I talk about this from the start of the podcast. And before me meet the principal, and I'm on board with it now. And him start put together some drawings and all them with the Dante. If you have a complex, if you have a complex on a bottom field, Patrick. Right? But I can't a first class complex, you know, like a track and field complex and maybe a sports medicine complex or whatever. When it's something, but him on board with it, you know, and me and him work behind the scene. But there's a lot of things you have to go in place before we reach a stage there. So we have to work on that. The same thing you have to work. But that's why I think missing. We are give back. Yeah. If you do have a reason to give back, if you do have a reason, you know, give back. So it's hard to sell. Yeah. It's hard to sell.
Yeah.
It's that much. I don't know what to think about that. It's a harder thing to sell if you do have a reason to give back. So,
well, you know what me do with that already.
I know Dante.
Full support.
I know.
Anything, and the most important thing is that the school has to be front and center.
Yeah, man, at the school you need from the school on board, right? That's why him the only one that can do it. And the principal have to drive this man. We just have to support him. You see what I say? We want to drive the support to him and behind him, you know, because and me talk to Dante about this, and I mentioned this Patrick as well talk about that, because a man commit if you give me 100 books, I'm going to present some book. Not me. Some books will be presented to the school in September. I'm going to promote it some more. Because a man can go on Amazon, buy the book, Patrick and Dante. It's shipped to an address in South Florida. And the book end up in Jamaica. It gets shipped to Jamaica and the principal pick it up. And then the ceremony is September 26th. Friday, September 26th. I'm going to go down. Because part of the thing. And Delano work on it for me. Delano. Last name Dante helped me. I know. McFall. Yeah, my hands are mixed up with Delano.
We know Delano, you know. Delano was a track man, you know.
Yeah, man. Delano was a track man, yeah. So he might put together
Delano would have been a sprinter when Patrick at Middle East started.
Funny you mentioned Delano because Delano was a good quarter miler. So
yeah, man, yeah.
Because he run on track team with me, you know. So Delano could run quarter mile very well, but he never want to run it.
He want to run a sprint.
I put my list, you know. Yeah, man, but it was a good quarter mile.
Yeah,
Trust
I'm gonna
me.
send the same, man. I'm
It
gonna
was a good
Mm-hmm.
listening.
quarter mile. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
you know, I
Yeah,
trust
so
the
me,
teacher.
so me,
You know,
me
teacher,
work
but
on that, Dan Patrick. I'm Dante. Me ain't talk about this half the year. Cause I said I got to reach out to some people for say if I
Yeah, yeah,
get
yeah,
some
yeah.
sponsorship. But yeah, the whole idea is to vibe up Meadowbrook in a way where and the land organize it up for me. And I'll be saying, I'm not gonna say nothing before the time come. But all I'm gonna do is promote whatever need for do. And when the function I get nearer and nearer, I hear about the function in terms of say the presentation function. I want to make a big splash out of it, you know, for the school.
Yep.
For the school, man, and put the school in the news, and it can lead up to the bigger project where we are talking about Dante for building a
Mm-hmm.
bottom field. That's my goal. That is how I look on it, man. I love for that ground break for that project, the Patrick and Dante for bottom field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yes, that would be good. That would be good
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
there's when you know say what that there's when me ask a man, when you call a man and say you need to contribute, him can't give me an excuse. We know why we do that for. We can look on that with pride. Even though we're not there, we can look back on it with pride. We lay a
Yep.
foundation for that thing, where boy. We can look back. Because I tell you, if we not do something about it, bottom field, we're going to lose it.
Yes. Yes.
You understand me? I say to you, Patrick, if we don't do something about it, the property down the bottom field, it won't belong to Meadowbrook in 10, 20 years if we don't do something about it. So,
Okay, I got you. So what is the threat to it right now?
no, man, I encroach on it already, man. Man, I've
Oh,
been
you
encroaching
serious?
on it. Yeah, man. So that's the first thing we have
Mm-hmm.
to try and is cure the problem there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
somebody I work on that behind the scenes. Me not call on him or none, because I know I really want, you know. But we are
Right,
working,
right.
enough things are going on behind the scenes, you know. I say, boy, I forget. That's why I can't talk about certain things, Dante. Up to listen
Yes,
because,
Yes.
exactly. Yes, I hear you. I hear you.
but
Yeah.
that's the problem, man. Because you can't go out there and say one to something without having a proper type where you can use and store say, this is your and it belongs to the school. You see me, I
Right,
said to you,
right.
a proper
Yeah, got you.
run title and all them things. But them things ain't in my mind, but I can't say much about it because there's a whole heap of work go on in the background where when the time
Mm-hmm.
comes.
Yes, and I can appreciate that. No, I get say no more. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
So, but I think if people have a cause, I'm going to say the cause of Pembroke now, I say, and the solution to me in my mind, not the solution. One I think what me would have try is, me call it hand-to-hand combat. The only way you get a little boy, a little girl to learn to read and write quickly is a one-on-one tutoring. Not the only way, that are the quickest and the best way. So me, I think about it in these days, and I don't know if it could have worked in a Dante, but let's throw it out. In these days, we have online, anybody can speak to anybody anywhere in the world for free, you know. I just don't see why we can't have like an online mentorship program where retired people or people have the time can just mentor them students the way I struggle. I need help. You see, when I said you spend 2-3 hours a week time, you have to have, again, at that time, you know, Patrick. The time I talk about again, it's like I can say, I take that student under your wing and I your mentee that until you get him to a certain level. You see me, I said to you? And that's how I see it. I mean, only for politics might involve the school might know why you do it, it might be encroached. I don't know, but me I said the student them need help higher, the kids them need help. And I just see it from here, people talk about it, go to survey or the government tell them they're not a solution to me, Patrick. Saying the government should do more is like me, I say, okay, all right. What the price of milk? Okay. You follow me, I say that. I don't look on things away at all. I don't look on things away at all. I say it's what me can do. And maybe it can't be done. Because maybe the bureaucracy of the politics is just difficult to move.
Well, nothing beats a try, though, Jelly.
No, I agree.
We have to definitely try, you know. So
yeah, definitely, and that have to be Pembroke and I try to relate to the Pembroke in a one way or the other. So
exactly.
I meet some educators this week. I got talk about it for Pembroke and put it out there. I'm sure to do now. Because I'm more here for them solution. Me have mind when I think, but me, I'm not a teacher. I did hate teaching. The 2 little year when I teach are 18 months. My wife is a teacher. I teach for 20 odd years and I teach elementary school and first grade. So she love it. Opposite of me. But I couldn't teach it at all, Dante. I could not take it at all because
It's not an easy job, you know, Jelly. It's not an easy job.
No,
We
it's
know
not an
that.
easy job. It's a difficult job, man.
It make you appreciate the excellent teachers we had at Meadowbrook, boy.
Or put up with
Yes,
we.
for sure, for sure.
I tell you.
Exactly, Andrew. Put up with people like you and I. Not Patrick so much,
Yes,
because
sir.
Patrick never get no cane in your time for no cane.
No, Patrick
Yeah.
will get the caning, so.
All right.
Oh boy.
All right, Patrick, but I have a couple more questions to ask you. I believe the other time was 2 hours in there. We can wrap it up. You know,
Yes, all right, cool.
after the last couple of questions, because I know your time and things here. How it make you feel I bring back all the Meadowbrook memories after all these years?
Oh, great man, great memories, you know. From first form all the way up, right? Like I
Yeah.
said, you know, that first exposure to this brand new environment that was literally new, you know, and then to be exposed to a higher level of learning, you know, compared to primary school that we're just coming from, and then getting exposure to sports, you know, that avenue to exercise whatever little talent you had or thought you had, you know, and then you see it mature to the point where, like I told you, you know, I was track team captain in my final year, which was a good thing because, well, for me, it felt like an achievement because there
No,
are guys who
that's a big
I,
achievement, Patrick. Talk about that some more.
I saw.
Who were some of the men
Hmm?
on the track team on that year there? What do you remember?
John Muir was on the team, and same McFarlane there
Delano,
was
yeah?
Delano. There were some other guys, boy, you know, it's funny to me, can't remember them now, but there were several guys
Light
there.
Phillips was on that team.
Girl.
Light Phillips was on the team.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Lloyd
And
was on the team.
there's a guy too, was another good sprinter, and they had a nickname for him, you know. Ah, boy, and could run 200. He was a good 200 runner. I'm not trying to remember his name now. Yeah, but
Hart.
Philip was there.
Hart is his last name, right? His name. Ivan Hart.
Ivan Hart.
He might that name sounds familiar, you know. But there's
Yeah.
another guy, man. There's a guy, and then had a name for him, but it's slipping me now. But run medley relay with him, and he did a cracking leg. Kind of medley is
4228.
800, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I did
yeah,
the
yeah,
800.
yeah.
And the guy who did the second 200 leg, man, he ran so well. You know, boy, anyway.
Just remind me, Patrick, how the medley work. The man who run medley can't run no other race of champs.
Right.
Exactly. You could not run. It's my first year class one. So the thing is, your odds of really qualifying, you know, in a first year class one, 800 or 1500 was really rough. So we did medley, you know, we did medley. And we never qualified still because I finished second in the heat, you know. And it's boy, I don't know, a man passed me, but I actually had the lead, you know. But if you know anything about medley, it's by time. It's strictly by time. So
strictly time.
Strictly time. So the finalists are going to be drawn from the best times, and we unfortunately got dropped out of the, you know, the final eight
because of the timing. I know you
timing, yeah. But we finished second in the heats that year.
You know, those comes to my mind. Yeah, go ahead, Dante. Sorry.
I tell you what, too. In those times, it was probably hand timing.
Could be, yeah. I think it's last time they had to, yeah.
And if you were close, if your time was close to a GSC, a KC, Clarendon College, or any other one,
you know, so them school I get stopped.
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
Exactly.
You'd have the chance.
But you know, no, I said that, Patrick, and it just comes to me because I'm not a track and field person, as you know. I can't run at all to save my life, like what can't swim. It's like something like that, you know. Meadowbrook should really. That's all me that enter Meadowbrook in a champs or a track and field. Focus on the medleys every year. Go there to try to get medal and points at the medleys.
Yeah, but no, guess what? The medley, I wouldn't agree with you necessarily, you know, Jelly, because you see, you want people to develop their individual talents too, you know. So if you have a good 200-meter runner, let's say, you
don't want to fight him for saying off a run medley. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Let him go out there and face it, you know, because it kind of develop when you face tough competition. Because I'm going to give you a story in class 2. There's a guy named Warburg. Me and him, when we were in class 2 and we went to champs. He and I were running the 1500 heats, and we're good friends. He's a pilot now, by the way. You know,
you used to come Meadowbrook?
Yeah, man. You know that name? Warburton. He wasn't a grade lower than me, but
when
he ran.
When last name, Patrick?
Warburton, that's the name.
Yeah,
Christopher
man.
Warburton.
Warburton. Chris
Okay, all
Yeah,
right,
Warburton.
man,
yeah.
yeah, man. And he had a brother too, you know.
Um,
His brother, I can't remember his brother's first name, but they called
Strength.
him Strength.
With
Strength was
strength.
the
We
brother.
call him strength. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So Strength was on the track team too, but he was not as, accomplished as Chris. But I was talking about exposure now. So, the pace out there hot, 'cause coming from our standard at Merebrook, we think we're good when we are win sports day and all that. But when you go out there and go
You feel like we're in
the
a first
Calabar
farm.
man, and KC and all them thing there, yeah, because I went out there and I'm going to get out a story. Chris ran the heat before mine. So I think he was first heat or second. But yeah, but he ran before me. And let me tell you, man, when the race started, boy, I say Chris at the back of the pack, I struggle with, with the man thing, hold on and him finish the race, but him at no point got a chance to challenge for one of the top positions,
Mm-hmm.
And when he finished the race, he said to me, he said, "Wow, the pace hot, man." Jesus. So, I was psyched out, but in that moment, I said, "No, Sam, I'm not going on a race for run a back, run at the back of the pack for the whole race." I said, "No way, we can go there." And me was the top runner in the class.
Yeah. I had the captain of the
But
team.
when the race start, listen, man, when the race start, I said, "No, me I go up front, but not to the lead, but we go in a third spot, Boss, man, the pace was hot for true. It's hotter than when we now when they run. And I said, Jesus, because now, and I said, no, but we now let it go because when we passed our little bleach section of the bleachers, our team there, they might cheer me, because I'm in a third, And I might do one thing. And we hold the pace for 2 laps, brethren. But the 1500 and the 400 field, it's 3 3/4 laps, 3 3/4 laps. So we just do over half of the race. And me start, listen, man, by them time, I'm a boss, man. Me can't, me try to get to hold on to the spot, man. And it's like the man just start past me, one after the other. I said, Lord. Because you have to finish, I think you have to finish on the first top 5 or something to go through to the next round.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, try hold the position, come in a third for 2 laps, And me just a slip back. I must have come about 7th or 8th, boss. The man just passed me. And I see bar you the win it a year there.
Where say you always feel like going in a first farm again.
Yeah, well, it wasn't so bad. We never come last this time.
But let me ask you a question about track and field, Patrick, because I just think about it now. And maybe at the time we never think about it, but you know the time of the other man them when you not go run a tracks and say, boy, the man you run 158 or whatever the time is.
Yeah, we have some idea, but boy, how would I put this now? There was a mishap at school, with timing, because the man them had me believing that I was running times that I don't think I was really running.
Oh, them not counting the clock, right?
They never could count it right, man. Because in class 2, right, I think when I went to champs, I was probably running maybe 205. I'm trying to remember.
And that's after the 15, yeah.
The 800, we probably was about.
Oh, for the 800, yeah.
The 15 was about, I think I was about 4 in the team.
4 minutes and something,
So I was probably like a 4, actually, I might have been like 420. I wasn't among the best times.
Yeah.
But somehow the coach made me feel, and there's a guy named Phillips. If you remember, there was a coach
named
Mr. Phillips, yeah.
Phillips, man. Mr. Phillips gave me the impression that I was running faster time because one day, like him tell me, I run 412. In my training room, I felt my head swelling because I feel I'm competitive now. I'm competitive one thing, but I suspect it was more like a 422 years and drop off 10 seconds. That's all I got. The pace what the man them have compared to me, they were like 10 seconds ahead.
No, right. So, yeah.
So yeah, I went in feeling confident that I was at the man them level, and it wasn't quite so. It wasn't quite so.
I mean, for some other sport, you might can do that and get rid of it for a while. Because I think most of it done. But
maybe was trying to sight me up,
No, probably was, because a lot of sport are confident, because we could see it in a cricket and maybe football, not even maybe. You look on it, and those games, track and field is a scientific thing here, Patrick. You either have to run the time or not run the time. You see, when it comes to cricket and football now, it's a mixture of blend of science and weight name there. And your own mind. You see what I said to you? But track and field now.
But I want to tell you something, and I think Phillips made a mistake too, because I said to him, I said, how you do this, man? Because in class 2, right, I was supposed to be entered for 8 and 15 because those were my events, win them events, sports day and thing. But the man entered me, I don't know if it was a mistake or what, entered me for 15 and 5,000.
And you never run 5,000 yet.
No, I could run it, I think it was a sports.
Yeah.
But I may be between second or something. But I wasn't at 5,000 man, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, man, I really see, because when I ran the 800 at sports day, I went on a canter, so I never had no competition. I was easy. I run the race like we could have win without a lot left in the tank.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So my 205 potentially could have been a 202 or 201, right? Which would have made me competitive, because back in them days there, the winners are only going to be doing like 159, or 2 minutes. So I missed an opportunity right there. I said to him, no, Mr. Brethren, the 800 for run. The 800 for run. I'm saying, no, man, go and try the 5,000. I tell you. Anyway, that's
no.
Still milk.
Whatever motivation to do it. So yeah. But track and field are the most scientific sports here, sir. It's like there's no subjectivity about that. You either can run the time or you can't.
I call it the truest sports.
What kind of sports, Dante?
It's the truest.
The truest, yes.
I know what you mean. It's objective. In other words, you can do it or I can't do it.
Yeah, man.
Either you do the
No man not to pick you up on a team, man. Because if you beat everybody else, there's no way a man will leave you off of the team, Patrick.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the sport, and maybe swimming still away to Dante, swimming, but you know in that sport at all. You run your time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But most of the sport, man, and maybe lawn tennis to a lesser extent still away that. But yeah. If you beat everybody else, there's no way a man can say, boy, no, a man enough to play. So, but that I know some thought about track and field, Patrick, and I'm no expert in all of that.
I know.
Yeah. So Dante, you have any question for ask Patrick before I ask my last question?
Well, I wanted to ask Patrick if he's still in IT, and I hear him say he's still in IT, which is good.
Yeah, Dante, I'm still doing it. I work for a software company now called Central Software Technologies, and they write applications for public sector entities, right? So they do public safety, public administration type software, but we also do hosting. We up to now we have hardware facilities in 2 data centers that we host clients in. So if a client doesn't want to manage their own infrastructure, they can come into our cloud, and we facilitate them migrating from premise to cloud and that kind of thing. So I'm on the back end, because when you manage servers in the back end, you're doing operating systems, you're doing security, you're doing performance and all, capacity planning and all those things. Which I don't really care much about, right? Because these are the background stuff that you have to make work so everybody can work, right? So
yeah, man.
Yeah, so that's my thing.
You manage the infrastructure.
Yeah. So it has been a fulfilling career. So I stick with it because it has done all right.
But
keep living.
Let me ask you to understand about IT man at this channel. And first question first. And that does not the question I ask about AI. What AI actually mean? What the acronym AI stand for?
Artificial intelligence.
Okay, me that I remember. All right, yeah. So what that going to mean to an industry? Me not talk about no other industry. What that going to mean to you, Patrick, and you, Dante? Answer is separate, yeah.
All right, so let me give you for me, because my company is primarily focused on development of applications. So we write software, a lot of coding going on. AI has actually helped to improve productivity, because there are certain AI tools that can do basic versions of coding So I could always get certain things right. So for example, when you're writing code, you have to put a comma at a certain point or a full stop at a certain point or whatever it is, whatever. And a human being can sometimes make a keystroke entry that is incorrect, right? The AI is not going to do that. AI is going to do according to rules, right? So rules-based thing. And it's going to get it right every time. So
every time, right.
Exactly. So for the basic parts, that has helped people to be more productive because they can focus on the more complex parts, right? So the routines that a man needs to think out and run, it won't be able to do that. But the basic stuff, I can do.
So the question then is, say AI take away your job anytime soon, and your job in particular, are people?
Well, AI can potentially take away some jobs, right? But it's not going to take away all jobs because here's the thing now. The machines are learning fast, right? Because boy, is we set them up to do that,
Yeah.
It's a kind because I went to an IBM seminar called Think. You might know about this, Dante. IBM has a seminar every year called Think, right? And 2 years ago, was it 2 years? I think 2 years ago they had the thing in Orlando, and our business partner gave us tickets. Well, a long story, but I went to that, and that one was dedicated to AI. So we're talking about AI the whole time, and they had demonstrations of different AI. They have a thing called Watson, right? The IBM has Watson, and they're developing Watson, different aspects of Watson, and all that kind of stuff. So AI potentially can take some jobs. I mean, certain routine things, but what AI can't necessarily do is human creativity, right? So I don't have any fear that it will take away every human's job, right? I mean, there are certain basic repetitive stuff that it can do. And I give you an example. So have you guys ever gone on to any kind of a business website and you need to interact with a chat that you're doing a chat, like you want a support person?
Yeah.
Right.
Bot, right. So what IBM has done, they have taken the game now of making the chat bot via AI more human-like because
more interactive, right?
Interactive. So they have databases tied into the backend where the chatbot can pull from someone's calendar, let's say. So Jelly, they want to ask you a question, or they need an answer that only you could provide.
Yeah.
And the chatbot can in the background, check and see your calendar and say, hey, you booked out until 2 o'clock. So hey, check back at 2:30. So, something. So it adds a little bit more intelligence than just saying, "Hey, sorry, we can't help." Kind of, generic answer, right? So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I mean, it's helpful, but why? I'm gonna leave Dante. Yeah, Dante say his piece first before I come back.
Go Dante.
So my perspective on it is that, well, I'm on the infrastructure side, like yourself, but from my perspective, it can make things easier. There are certain designs and certain things that are out there that you can pull on, and you can access AI to get, based on history or stuff that has been done. But as Patrick said, it can't, it hasn't reached the stage as yet, even though, truth be told, it seems to be getting there, but to get that human creativity, it's not there yet.
Not there yet. No.
I honestly don't think it's going to get there soon. That is just me.
And that to finish up, Dante, sorry.
So it to me, it's more a compliment than something to take over, and it depends on oh, and if it would be very dangerous if it is being pushed as something to take over.
I am on board with it. I don't think knowledge can ever be creativity.
Right.
No time at all. Creativity how our human beings expand and will continue to expand. And I don't think.
What think about this for a minute, Jelly, is we create AI now. So that is showing the creativity of us.
But some people think that AI can turn around and take over.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you what is dangerous, and it's up to humans. You know, we control it, right? Because we are the gatekeepers. So here's the problem: and more systems are being entrusted to AI, and that is where the challenge comes out now. So I'm going to give you a simple example. I mean, which is to me is serious. It's just kind of mind-boggling. So you know, fighter planes, right?
Mm-hmm. F-16,
all right, you have heard of an F-16? You know what F-16 is, right? F-16 is one of the planes that came out from the 70s, actually, but
F-35,
it's still engaged today. And it was created as a kind of a workhorse. It was developed with fly-by-wire, so it was always integrated to a computer network. That is the kind of platform it is, right? And recently, they did an experiment where an AI flown. This is a plane being flown without a human, you know. And AI did a kind of a dogfight practice scenario run against a human pilot, a good pilot too, and the AI actually beat him. So this is where it gets a little challenging, because it is up to us to determine which systems we're going to allow AI to have access to.
Yeah, that's the danger. That's the danger part.
That's the thing, because anything that is based on decisions, right? Like if you have rules around the decisions, AI can potentially do it, you know, which is why it could fly the plane, because it's a complex program. They put in a lot of things, just parameters to say, hey, if this, do that, whatever, right? And of course, AI figured it out. And what they found was, because AI is not human and have no feelings, a human pilot may hesitate to go into a 9G turn because it put out that pressure on his body. Because, because it's like a weight. When you go into, the more G's you put on your body, you know, it's a more it's like a magnification of your body weight kind of factor, a factor of magnification, right? So, and they found that the AI would take those maneuvers just so, because it was available, because AI have no feelings, right? It just go and it kind of beat the guy because it took some risky moves and whatever, right? But that's my concern. If you were to put AI in charge of military systems, right? That to me is a risky thing. I wouldn't want to do that. I think that is just too much risk.
Yeah, and ultimately, Patrick, this is how I think it comes down to it. Yeah, if it's going to work, it's going to take over. It's how the world is going to work out in terms of, say, if we live in I may have talked about this last time I made a talk after the year. We live in a centralized world where a couple of people control the thing, like a big country or the society, or it decentralized, everybody have access to it. You see what I'm saying to you? You follow me? I say it's like if it's a one-off, if one person that control the AI, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. If it's a race where it's like US or China got control and China win, you know, it's a different type of AI you got than the US. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. Because at the end, you know, humans have enough weapons to destroy themselves, no matter how, you know. Right now, they have enough weapons
of course, yes, I agree with that. Yeah.
So that are the risks in terms of say, well, I think the genie out of the bottle, and humans have to go decide and decide. So no, we're not going to say no. So
but you know what? It's fine. But not to scare too much though, Jelly. But some of the guys who are behind the first set of AI tools that were released publicly, right? Them guys actually voicing caution right now.
Yeah, them to the danger. Because if
pull back,
careful.
If it gets in a certain hands, Patrick, just like what you're saying, if in a certain hands and the man think a certain way, ruthless, him can use the AI for control. Because most of the information we get up, most of our live now, we live by the data, you know. And AI basically just control the data what we give them. In a sense. Go ahead, Dante.
It's learning. It's learning from what we do.
The data, but it learned from the data where we made them have access to Dante, and this is how we think it have to go flip, you know. Because all them companies have the data, you know. We give it to them, things so I get back things free. And me I say the situation have to flip. Wherein if a man want my information, Patrick, me have to control my information from my server. or upon my thing.
Yeah.
And if you want, them have to pay for it, Dante. Not the other way around.
Mhm.
Where you gateway and think say I get something. No. Our information should be ours. And if we want to sell it to a company, we sell it as a pro. And the technology available for do that. But it's like, in a sense, it's like people have got to take responsibility for themselves. And that's the hard part. Because most people, that's it's a whole heap of, as we say,
a lot of things.
Yeah, but a whole heap of things that will change. And it now, it can't, genie out of the box. I don't know how much we can put back. Ultimately, it have got design where people have got to take charge of them life. By that I mean, it's like you can't think that the company are going to do it for you. Or a government are going to do it for you, Patrick. Because
but you know, one of the unfortunate things going on, Jelly, is that right now you have unscrupulous companies selling people's data. And that's
yeah.
They must sell your data without you even realizing it.
Yeah. No, I know. That's what I'm saying, Patrick. Listen, you just type in something on the internet, and it's like all of a sudden, it's the advertisement that come back. You say, oh, them know that. Them know everything about it, Patrick.
Yeah.
And that should not be the case at all. That should not be the case. And that's the information that I get about you, Them know where you eat, them know where you read, them know everything about you. And I say, oh, them know. But you type it in. You just have to type it in one. You just have to search for one thing, Dante. And the next minute you see a pop up on your phone, say, if you buy this or order that.
Yeah.
No, that's if we go search for something, I look for a plane ticket to come to Jamaica now. By tomorrow now, a flood up airline solicitation will come to me. I say, but I never tell them to say. I just look. So
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So it have to flip in a way where we own the data here, sir. Them can, and it have to do it because so it can't change, but we have to demand the change where our data belong to we. Our private information about us belong to we. Any company that use it, the law for come enforce or something enforced, we can't sue a man if we use our information without our permission, Patrick.
Yeah.
But you see, that now what happening because them now give you that back, By that we mean the powers that be or shouldn't be. Them now give you that back. We have to demand that or take it back. It's I would say that big and a complex discussion, Patrick and Dante. So me think about them thing, but it there. When I think we fear, when I think fear about it is like that. When that the AI and the AI make some video now. You look on the video them and you don't even know if it's real or not. That's
you don't know if it's real.
No.
Well, that is true. They're very close. They're very close to reality. That's the problem,
Yeah. So, because we know say woman are going to feel it more than man when it comes to that. Because we know a man are going to do certain things, the woman and the video them and embarrass her a certain way, Dante. We know a man say. It's not to say.
Why? You know what I hear? I hear on the news the man might use AI on what like let me say disrobe you. So in other words, them
them doing that, Patrick. Then that matter. I may say women are going more embarrassed about that than men. That's what I tell you.
But it's a serious thing. But people, me I always wonder this, why their minds gravitate towards those kinds of uses of technology. You know what I mean? Because you can't find something better for the man.
No, Patrick.
Human nature.
Yeah, man, you can't stop that. You can't stop that, Patrick. The cure all of man is about certain of them does have certain human nature, them does go on to certain part. But you're right. At the end of the day, your privacy yourself, a man invades by your privacy, you should be able to do something and make him feel it. That's how we look upon it, Even if somebody use a bot to do this to you, and you say, but we never give a permission for that. Whosoever do it, Dante or Patrick, supposed to pay if him cause you harm.
But unfortunately, I agree with you. It should be like that, right? We should have ultimate control of anything to do with our data, right? But boy, I see the trend going the opposite direction.
No, but
to make everything free.
No, I agree with the party. But the only thing I change is we have to change it. By that I mean, individually we have to take charge of ourselves. Don't expect and look outside of it. Just like we say about the school thing. Don't look to say somebody else going to do. Look and say, well, we can do for Meadowbrook or what we can do for Brook. And by that I mean we talk about what me can do. And you go try the physical, you get some people there. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge and a tricky thing I go for. My daughter hate AI. She not think, but me I say, we can't stop it. We can't stop it at all, Dante. It's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Horse gone through the gate.
Yes. But last question, Patrick. Last question.
Yes.
have a first question I'll ask you something else, somebody. In your mind, Patrick, what made Meadowbrook magical?
Whoa. All of the things I mentioned earlier, I mean, from the just the environment, right? The environment that allowed us to grow as young people, maturing into some, a worthwhile citizen of the world, right? That was it. Just being in a place where, though not expected, because like I remember I mentioned to you at the beginning that Casey and Calabar is all I used to hear about, right, as a youngster. So I came into a school that was relatively unknown, but yet still I observed all of these great successes, right? We're talking about winning championship, Sunlight Cup. We talk about the basketball stuff, Starling winning at champs, Howard Thomas, a few, standouts and all that. And then in terms of scholastic achievements,
Yeah, man, two
we had
road scholar. The two road scholar them.
two,
Yeah.
we had that, and another proud moment, and this came after I left school, but I know you guys can relate to this. Winning the Walker Cup, brethren.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I
man.
was in the
Yeah, man.
stadium. Listen,
Yes. Yeah.
I was in the stadium, man, and I can't forget the build up. I went to say they don't know is who we met in the final. If you remember,
Right.
I think it was 85. Was it 85? Yeah.
86.
Yeah.
86.
The coach of
86,
Dunoon,
86.
it is 86. Okay. The coach of Dunoon was interviewed, and the man said, I think it's on TV, the man said, said the only school that could beat Dunoon is
It's the
Dunoon.
known.
So the man said the only school can beat Dunoon is Dunoon. And I watched Meadowbrook drop 3-0
Yeah, man. It wasn't a beat. Them get a spanking Dante.
Mr. Man,
Pumpkin.
watching the match,
Big car.
with the two gobbler them and thing, I said, boy, that was that was a magical moment,
Yeah.
Again, there are many, but that one kind of stuck in my mind because it's Meadowbrook and it's like I was.
And you're out of school, and you go back to cheer for your school. Yeah.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. Proud, man. Proud. I think did I have a tie on me? I don't remember. But anyhow.
No, but you see,
yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned that in a Patrick, because a lot of time, that's a power sports, That's why enough of the time we start with sports when we try envision motivation, because you say just the power go watching your team beat another school.
Yes.
Nothing beat that, Nothing beat that at all.
Right. So to sum it up, we say all of the above, all of those things. The friendships that we made, the environment was good because you never had Meadowbrook involved in no whole heap of. I mean, every school have little issues, but we never had no wayward thing when man come shoot gun at school.
No, that never.
I mean, there are fights and so on, but back in my, we don't remember no whoop.
No gang violence ever come to the school. There's nobody who come in a gang thing for the school.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
So it was a very nurturing environment, and I'm, very proud to have gone there,
When a man come in Meadowbrook. Yeah, man, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, Patrick, this was good. But Dante, any closing remark before Patrick? Any closing remark and then I close it out,
Just to say again, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to hear, Patrick. As I say, as you heard, Patrick and I had have some similar. I think Patrick, you're in cadet as well, right?
No, I never the cadets.
No, it's not you. It's Greg. It's Greg was in cadet. Greg was cadet. Yeah, but I used to fool around a little middle distance. And I had Patrick and them and some other guys as my you would say inspiration. Cause that man we used to admire when him take him track and field serious.
Yeah, man.
One of the most disciplined. One of the most disciplined man. And the thing that would have turned me off from track and field would have been the training. And it looked like Patrick is a man where he enjoyed the training even more than the competing.
Yeah, man. The training was good, man. And we had good grounds to train on, because they used to set up our rails, rails out steep. Right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Sometimes Queen Hill,
yeah,
and all
man.
that. But
man. I remember. So and just to wait to know, add to what Patrick said about the the environment at Meadowbrook, the overall thing made it special, So, it's and the fact that we're here now. I mean, both of you guys left school, I think, a good while before me, and the fact that we maintain a link from school until now.
I see I'm in the
You know,
connection,
those
Dante. Yeah,
those connections, those connections is a special kind of thing.
man. Over 40
You
years,
don't get
Dante.
that.
The connection,
Yes.
yeah. Over 40 years, yeah.
Yeah, man. So, as I say, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Before I appreciate it. Yes, same here.
Before you give me a closing remark, Patrick, I hope when you talk to Greg and him going to hear this, I might reach out to him, and Dante, when you talk to him too, make him know him can't come tell him story too, because Jelly now bowling up fast bowling, him knows I'm a fast bowler. I'm not bowling up Googlies him there.
I can tell you that he's one of your most ardent listeners.
Yeah, man, I know that. I know that.
Yes, true.
Yeah, man, I know them listen to that podcast, man. But I love to hear him story, man. I miss him. Anybody who want to reach out to me, man. I love to hear him story, Patrick.
I can make that link for you, or Patrick can make it, I guess.
No, I have a number for you. I think make a link. Tell him personally, man, and tell him why I reach out to Jelly. And now come back on, and you hold the man that I'm not afraid I'm a fast bowling.
All right, cool. That's
That's what I mean. Say the closing remark, Patrick, before I close it out there.
Yeah, just like what Dante's saying now, the school gave us all that we needed to grow up. We got the teaching, right? Guidance from all these teachers, very good teachers we had, right? From, the basic math, English, all that, everything, right? Arts, all the good stuff. The sports, just the totality of the package that Meadowbrook gave us, right? Like we said, the value added. And that's not a metric that they don't often use, but I think they should do it more often, because just counting passes in CXC and all that is not enough, right? That's good, yes, to an extent, but value added. If you have someone coming in and can barely read and write and then leaving and then can pass, a few PXCs and go on to live worthwhile lives. That counts, That's what we want.
Yep.
We want the citizenry to be equipped, and that's what I think Meadowbrook does well.
Yeah, man. I think such a project.
Jelly alluded to it earlier. If we can give back to the school, so that other persons can come and get some of what we got, then that is goodness, and I'm all for that. So,
and I like that matrix. When we talk about matrix, because I think we need to do that more. But finish up, Patrick, because I'm interrupting.
Yeah, man. So glad to be here, and thanks for the opportunity to come and talk. And it's from long time. I discussed this long time, but it's just a whole for things. Life gets in the way.
Right. Yeah,
but I'm happy to be here this evening. And I never want to stay too long, because Jelly know I'm a busy man, and boy, I have to wake up early tomorrow morning because my wife and I do early preps at church and thing, long story. But anyhow, yeah. So, but good, man, it's time well spent.
Yeah, glad,
so I thank both,
Glad to make it, Patrick. And that's the hard to what you say. I'm going to start talk up that, because I think that's something Meadowbrook do, but we don't talk about it. The matrix of improvement. I forgot that word. Where we know a man come out of school. He might leave much better than him come in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A man or a woman, let me say it the right way. Somebody come out of school, a girl or a boy, he might leave a much better place than he came in, because of the environment of Meadowbrook. And I think we need to talk up that some more, and just, it's almost like brand Meadowbrook that way there. That's what I say, the matrix, Meadowbrook is the school, and the matrix of improvement can be shown. I can find a good name for it, and people brand it that way there. But I didn't come to me as my talk. But anyway, let me close it out. This has been a wonderful conversation, my brother. Little do, as you know.
Yes.
So, Patrick, Douet, or Douet, as we used to say.
Oh, yeah, man. Do it, man.
my good friend, Robert Douet. Little brother, rest in peace, Robert. I never realized over 20 years when you're gone. You listen to them conversation and you laugh. You remember, I laugh at something about Dovecat and all them things, but rest in peace, my brother. Donovan, Dante, Tegreg, Thomas. This has been a wonderful conversation here, my brother. In them conversation at all weight, The same way all the time, Patrick and Dante. God bless the whole away. And God bless that great school at 2A Meadowbrook Avenue. Where we can have them conversation after almost 50 years. And like we're still there, Pekka.
Can you believe that?
For buy a sky juice. It's still there, Pekka stand up and buy a sky juice. And I laugh after one another. Wait behind to get some banana cheese or some banana calado. God bless all the way. God bless that school in Meadowbrook, 2A Meadowbrook Avenue. And peace out and have a good night here, my brother.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good night. Take care, guys. Yeah, bye.
Yeah, man. All right, Patrick. All right, Dante. Right. Yeah, man.
Respect, bye.
You may support the show by purchasing a copy of my book, The Starling Surprise, or Meadowbrook won 7 trophies in 4 years, by scanning the QR code for a student at Meadowbrook, a family member, a friend, or yourself. Thank you. Thanks for listening to Meadowbrook Memories. And remember to give us all the encouragement you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. And special thanks to my production manager, Cameron Wright, who takes care of everything involved in getting the podcast out every week. And without him, this podcast would not be possible. It is his expertise that allows me to do what I love doing every week, having great conversations about Meadowbrook memories. And he's responsible for everything else. So again, thanks to my production manager, Cameron Wright. So remember, as we listen to these conversations, and I must thank Nadine Moulton for this, memories are made to be told, not buried. The views expressed by guests on this podcast are their own, and their appearances on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. While we will not add to statements made by a guest, we reserve the right to exclude statements or remarks that might be considered inflammatory. Thank you.